No clue if this is working properly, but we shall see. It might be an echo since I will most likely do this. No clue if this is working properly, but we shall see. Might be an echo since I will most likely. Do I hear the background music? You can barely hear. Hey there, Code Up. Let me just delete that, and then let me just make this a bit louder. Nothing grand is gonna happen. I could organize some stuff, but I think the only thing I'll organize is my character inventory. But for now, I'm just sitting here just reminiscing about the past, especially this particular block. Where is my thing? I do need to put it up on stream notice that I'm streaming. Knock off Pepsi, man. Wow. Oh gosh. Actually, thinking about it, I didn't realize that my sis decided to purposely go for the blue one when it comes to that one video I released. Ah, man, though. I still play base PSO2 every now and then, but I'm gonna be hyper focused on NGS once that is out. But how you doing, Code Up? Just making sure everything looks fine. I'm just sitting here, literally, in-game and like in real life, where I'm just like sitting back and just remembering all the memories of this game. There's so many things that I've done in this game. And once again, the big thing is it influenced me to change myself and like what I did. It's saying there's no data though. What the hell? What's wrong with my string? I'm gonna choke this YouTube. Yeah, I'm just sitting here in game, in real life, just thinking, just remembering. I could do some productive things, but nah, not today. I could do that tomorrow. I'm just also reading the chat that you guys can't see because it's behind my face cam of what my what my pals are saying. A lot of the guys that I used to play with are slowly logging back in. There's still a lot of names. I hope to see a lot of these names that are not logged in for a long time logging back in, but it's not a guarantee. I'm surprised Flo hasn't logged in for a long time. I remember a good chunk of these names. I remember this one in particular. But yeah, there's so many people that I met in game, and I remember a good chunk of these individuals. That's why I didn't delete them, because I know them. I remember like certain conversation I had with them. I need to figure out when to actually do the giveaway. I was planning to do it today, but it's gonna be way too soon, and it's not as organized, so it's gonna be very chaotic. Which I don't mind, but at the same time, with me giving away stuff, I do want some order. There's like so many names that I have. Hey there, Ria, how you doing? Man, it's just been ages since I've been playing this game for so long. This is like the one MMORPG that I dedicated a lot of time to. It's been years. Like, I didn't dedicate so much time in other games. This is the only one where I went out of my way to just do so many things. And I spoiled most of my characters. I need to reorganize some of them, redo some of them. One of them, Undead Girl, I will most likely toy around with. I might actually do that before NGS kicks in. There's probably like 10 people on my buddy list. Really? I have like a maxed out friend list most of the time. The other thing is like my rule of thumb is that I try not to be the one to start it up and request friends and all that. Wait, who decided to follow me up here? I need to fuck. Someone was able to locate me. But it's just that, like, I'm just sitting here just reminiscing. And the reason why I'm in this particular block that, but I'm on ship 2. But the reason why I'm in this block is because I might go into story time talking about block 6. It was the home block, the one block that allowed me to just stay on PSO2. Abby and they can both vouch for it because they are B6ers along with some other peeps. It's just that, like, B6 has a lot of good memories. It sucks that it got destroyed due to drama, but the big one that kind of pushed it even further was the Ddos event. And I said I was going to make a video talking about it. I might. The Ddos event, if you don't know what Ddos stands for, it's pretty much like denial of something. Actually, better yet, instead of trying to guess it out of my butt, let me pull it up. Talking about Ddos. Ddos it stands for Distributed Denial of Service. This happened back then, I think in 2014. When I joined the game. It was like in the summer. I think it was August or something. That kicked in and it fucked up a lot of the stuff that was kicking in on PSO2. Japanese PSO2, and it prevented people from going in because there was a region lock gimmick kicking in. Ria says, yeah, my friend's asking me why I don't want to log in after making my memorial storage. I'm not coming until NGS launch. Been playing this 9 years and I want to close this chapter and move forward. Yes, NGS. That's gonna be a whole different game. I might as well toss you a friend request. Nope, not. Damn it! I just messed up my thing. What other? Sit down? I think it's sit down. But there's like so many things. So many memories that I have. It's just that, like, with this block in particular, I just remembered a lot of good people in it, and they helped me learn. They taught me a lot of stuff about the game, and it's just that a lot of them were like OGs. They pretty much did a lot of things. They helped the community that was within B6 or maybe Ship 2, and a good chunk of people know them, and they did go by a certain. There was a team that was like manning it all, or they were kind of the ones that were in that block. There's apparently a thing going on for the B20ers, and apparently I'm kind of in that group, which I don't mind. But it's just that there's a lot of old people that I kind of miss from back in the days. It sucks that some of them I know are in global. One of the guys that actually influenced me a lot and did a lot for me in Japanese PSO2, they moved over there to global. It sucks and it hurts. Some of my other guys that are OGs, they're going to global because they just want a new start, which I don't blame them, because one of the reasons is they don't have anyone on the Japanese side. Codeup says, I really wish I played the game sooner. There's so much history with this game that I miss. There's so many things that had happened throughout Japanese PSO2, and you can't really get that same sort of experience with global. I mean, global is its unique spin, and you can get your own story from it. But with Japanese PSO2, even Southeast Asia, it was a whole different ball game. So many mentalities, so many things that made up this game were in those eras. And you can't really go back in time and try to do that unless we got time machines. Because, like, nice to know there are still PSO1 players around. Yeah, I mean, what is it? Like, some people are just fans of Phantasy Star. Maybe they started being fans of it when they played Universe or Online 1. It's just that there's so much history with it, with Phantasy Star. But specifically, with Phantasy Star Online 2, I have a lot of it. I haven't played any of the other Fantasy Stars, but for Fantasy Star Online 2, I played a good year's worth. Like, I was hanging out with RC because they did do a stream. Go ahead and check out their stuff. I did take a bit of screenshots with them. It just like hits me when I just reminisce about it all. I think the big blocks back in the days that I was told of was B1. So, funny story about that. I was gonna make a video talking about the B20 days too. I might revisit it still. Now, B20 was, out of all those blocks, B20 was the bad one. Back then in episode like 1 and 2, even maybe 3 and 4. Because there were a lot of things that were kicking in. I think B1, apparently they invaded B1 for a reason, which was due to how B20 was having issues and someone was hacking. Something was going on and the B20 has moved to B1. They moved to B1 because of one, convenience, two, by that time I think there was like a trailer that talked about releasing a global PSO2, but they didn't continue up with it until 2019, 2020. But yeah, there was an announcement talking about it, so the B20 has moved to B1 because it had a good chunk of people in there, and it was like the go-to new block, and because of what was going on in B20, they just moved there. Now, I don't know how they moved from B1 to B7. I wasn't there during that transition, but I know that I saw those B20s came into B1 because I was trying to reform B1 into what was supposed to be B6, but that didn't go out well because there were B20ers. Now, not all B20ers are bad. I know a couple of them. I know a good chunk of them. Some of them aren't as bad. Some of them are bad. It's just that it was like an entirely different sort of field, and yeah, my good group that I was with, we moved away from B1. Now, once again, I don't know how the B1s went into B7, and then B7 kind of went to B13. And they went to B13 most likely because of the fact that it wasn't as populated. But it's like, it wasn't that bad. The big thing that irked me was when people go into the block, like especially in block 7 and block 13, and they talked about all this bad stuff, it's like not everyone's bad, and it's not the same sort of level like it was back in the B20 days. It's gonna be interesting to see how people just roam around in NGS. I feel like people are just gonna take up territory and just call that their hangout area. I'm looking forward to seeing that, or maybe people will occupy different towns and just have that as a local hangout area. But there's so many things I'm looking forward to, but there's like some things that I'm just gonna be a bit cautious about. The big one is how PSO2 NGS is recycling things. I am gonna be releasing a video talking about my opinions and thoughts about the beta. That might be released tonight, actually, or tomorrow. Cause like I already read that. Yeah, this franchise has been running for years. But specifically for PSO2, I remember most of my good times. And I feel quite old just like looking back at it. I talked to one of the old B6ers and they told me they were going to global. And we just caught up with what they were doing and like addressing some old things. Like they felt very old about the game. I felt very old about the game just for talking to them again. And I feel like a lot of the old vets are gonna feel old as well, just thinking back on all the good and bads of whatever they did in PSO2. And that's what's hitting me right now. It's just that there was so many things that I cherish, but I don't at the same time. The drama, that can go to hell, but sometimes you go into some sticky situations because it was because of a friend or you really cherish someone in the game. The big thing is, I really miss the B6 community. It sucks because it didn't need to die away like it did, and a lot of the people that made up that community just went away because of what was going on. And it just sucks that only a few of them are still around and I get to just talk to them. Some of them might have went to a different ship, some of them just moved over to global. I'm not 100% sure, but it just sucks that a lot of the people that helped me in the beginning are just gone. Only a few of them are still around. And the reason why I picked up the mantle, or at least started to do a lot of videos for the PSO2, was because I wanted to give back to the community, or at least give back to the game, give back to those who taught me, and I pass down that mantle to anyone who is new to the game. It just sucks though. Like I feel like I lost a good chunk of friends, old friends from this game. Don't get me wrong, I got a bunch of new ones, but like there were a lot of people I met in this game. A lot of them I actually liked, cherished, maybe even loved. But it sucks that like I don't see them as much. I don't have any contact with them. Yeah, I can tell you if today was the PSOW's bad apples, where there's so much drama and cringe, I avoided them. How to move to global in my case, bad EQ, schedules, fashion prices, in real life friends preferring global, which I always played with. I don't regret moving, but Japan wasn't working for me after so many years. It's entirely up to you if you want to go to global in Japan. Either way, just, you know, play the game how you want to play it. Kind of sucks that there's some differences, especially with how they market some stuff. It's just that, man, what, 8, 9 years now that we've been playing this. I haven't been playing that game for that long. RC and some other individuals, like, they definitely played it for a lot longer, but I only been maybe like 4, 5, 6 years worth. I wasn't there for the entire run, but I did get into like maybe, well, I did get in episode 2. There's like so many bad apples back then too, but I felt like in due time people just got over it. The people start to develop a bit more personality. They start to learn because of all these things that kicked in game. Drama is a piece of shit. If I had to be blunt with you guys, I hate drama. That's why the big thing is I'm a bit of a hypocrite with this, and very confusing, but I don't like helping out people, but I still go out of my way to help out people. And the big thing is, like, the best way to avoid drama is if you just stay isolated, but at the same time, as a human being, like, you can't just stay holed up forever. It's gonna hurt if you do that. It's gonna be painful too. So you gotta open up, and like, you know, karma might kick in as well, depending on if you believe in such a thing as karma. But if you do good things, it might come back around and, you know, reward you or something. Or maybe it's just gonna feel good. It feels good. So it's like, I'm doing this because I want to help, but at the same time, I know for a fact that if I get into this, I might, you know, get into some sticky situation, some drama, because of the fact that some of my pals might be you know, in this sticky situation. I've been in a lot of issues, which I'm not a big fan of, where I had to deal with fucking drama. God damn it. God damn it, Dave. I was trying to avoid panties. Fucking skirts. Messiah? No, hell no, I'm no fucking Messiah. Most likely, what is it? I'm not gonna stream this entirely all the way up to maintenance. I am gonna be visiting the B20 block over here in Ship 2 because I know a couple of the people, and apparently I was invited to just do some Photoshop, photo takings and all that. A lot of my old pals are also over there too in B20. Then again, it's like B20. I remember the one time where everyone joined in B20. It wasn't because of well, they did it because it was something going on. I don't want to go into full details about this because this could bite me, and I don't want to bring it out in the open as much. But like, there were certain events that happened in Japanese PSO2, and people did go to B20. It was kind of the giant, notorious hangout area, or like the go-to sort of thing. And it amazes me on how many people would just go there, good and or bad. Like, the blog got filled up that one time with that certain incident. Okay, I don't know if anyone likes it. The alliance I'm in got destroyed by it. Think it was the most populated one on Ship 4 for 3 months. Dramas, once again, sometimes you don't want to get into it, but it depends. Are your best pals in there? Do you really care? That's when you get into it. Like, people could easily point to what's going on with the community and with Reddit and like all these things and say, oh yeah, there's a bunch of drama in there. And it's like, the reason why there's so much drama is because people have different opinions and they actually care about it. The reason why some people never spoke up, and when they speak up, like, they might say something that's really aggressive or stern, and it might sound toxic, but the reason why they speak up is because they care. They love it. And that's what seeing some of the stuff that I've seen with people trying to defend some cases and do this, and this. Some of these people might just want to contribute and at least give back and at least make sure that everyone understands that, like, this is something to enjoy and this is something to, like, kind of get over. And it's like they're getting into drama with other people who aren't as open-minded because, you know, difference of opinions. Hey there, Wes, how you doing? And to be fair, Japanese PSO2 was never meant for Skygens, so in hindsight, it was a ticking time bomb. Fair enough with that point. But at the same time, it's like, if they really want to make sure that Westerners did not get in, leave, they should have region locked it. Like, there were a couple games that were like that. Blade and Soul for China. I really had to figure out how to... There was, like, so many steps that you had to do to try to get into that. And it annoyed me because it was like, oh my god. I can't understand this text. I can't... What am I dealing with? I had to use a... what is it? Proxy? I forgot the word. VPN. Something like that. To get through it. It annoyed me. But yeah, the big thing is if they don't want foreigners to play a game, they should region lock it. That's the big thing for me. It's like, you got measures to make sure that people don't get in. Like, people will get in, but it kind of gives a clear hint, like, hey, look, we region lock this. We don't want anyone else to do it. Obviously, there's ways around it, but you had to go through those methods. But for PSO2, they didn't really do that in the beginning. They did do it because of DDoS, but then they lifted it up, and then they apologized about that, about the region lock. So, it's like, I can understand that sort of statement, and then that sort of argument, but at the same time, once again, there's ways to permanently lock some people out of it. The things we do to just play a game sometimes, yeah. Like, if you really want to get into a game, even though it's region locked, then you'll find those methods. But it's kind of a given that if they region lock it, they're trying to keep people out. Or maybe it's policies or something, I don't know. Like, I played a good chunk of phone app games and some other MMORPGs, and I went past the region lock thing. Was I a big fan of it? Not really, because I had to do extra steps to try to play the certain thing, but... yeah, PSO2 is just like the one MMORPG game that just sticked with me. I invested so much time in it. I did so many things to it. Hey there, Scion, how you doing? But I just love this game. And like, I love and hate it. The big thing is with the community and the people that I met, they were the key factors to me playing the game and me loving this game. Like I said, a lot of the old people that I played with, that taught me, that helped me and stuff, they're gone. It sucks. It annoys me. Like Day and Abby, Heath and some other guys that you might see in the Discord or in game, they're old people. Like the group that well, you can't see it. Let me just move this. Like the group of people that I'm listening to in my chat right now, over here with the green text. Like, they're another bunch of pals that I used to play with. They're getting back into the game because of NGS. But it took them, like, months before they start playing again. Like, Rosen and Ison, you'll most likely see them when I start playing in NGS and I we'll hang out with them and stuff. I might also go and what is it? When I stream stuff on the Discord, you might hear them every now and then. But those guys were OGs because I remember like the first time I bumped into Rosen was because of a certain goal. What was it? The team. Oh yeah, I do need to. I mean, most of us are old now compared to like most of these newcomers. Like the team that we created back then. This was back in 2014. Oh, it's these two. Is everyone following me? But Crimson Raiders is an old team. We did it because B6 got split up. But Jesus, Crimson Raiders. There's like so many ups and downs with the team. We did so many things with the team too. Yeah, I have a love and hate relationship with it. The big hate comes to how I feel like Sega didn't treat it as good. There was like so many things that was really rare to see in PSO2, but they didn't really go through with it. The big thing that happened, like let's say in episode 3 on the Japanese PSO2, they placed other people's videos up on the TVs. Everyone's finding me, Doug. Well, where was I gonna do? So what I'm gonna do is just like stay. If you want to also just chat away, I'll be on my Discord. I don't know if my Discord link is working in the description. Let me know if it's not. But I'll be in my Discord and I'll just like be in the live stream chat. So if you want to chat with me while I'm reminiscing and stuff, it's A-okay. I do not mind. Wait, is Rosen? Nope. One of the more well-known rangers. Rosen used to be. Oh wait, Rosen's right behind me. Speaking of the damn git. Yeah, this is Rosen. You'll be seeing him a bit more, and you'll hear a bit more from it. Oh crap, I can't even spell that for the life of me. Wait, blah blah blah. Oops. I accidentally sent the link into my group chat. Oh, that's the one thing I still need to complete PSO2 story, but I was super lazy. I was like, I'm on break. Ria says there were from runs to some sort of pseudo mechanica like shorts with parodies, roleplay, etc. It was great. Yeah, so you do that was the thing. They released some tutorial videos, they released like the Rappy Rangers, they released some skits up on the screen. It was so community driven, and it felt great to actually see videos of that. Although but man, it's so I feel so old. Man. Oh. What else can I talk about? I guess I could talk about some other things. Like since I was on the topic of teams, this team I used to help in terms of leading it. I mean, Days was also a membership as well, a manager. God damn it, fucking skirt. I will find you more. What do you mean you'll find me? Shouldn't be hard. Hopefully. Morph, any plans for a Re-8 stream? It would be funny to see you react to jumps. Oh, you want me to do Resident Evil 8? I am planning to do in the future, hopefully when I have time or when I can make it, some scary video stuff or gameplay. I think someone recommended Alien and I was like, oh fuck. What? No. Mm, 33 hours. Oh gosh. You're going through the blocks. If you look at the stream upper right, unless you can't see it, then if not, then I can give you the number unless you're fine trying to find me. Oh my gosh. I did mention it in the past, but I didn't say it anytime soon. I'm worried about global more than more than Japan, but since it's being released on the same day, it might be both. But knowing Microsoft, it might have a bit more issues. Hopefully it goes smooth for both ends, for both global and Japan. I'm looking forward to it. Excited more? Honestly, yes. It's gonna be a new start. I'm gonna be, even though I will release a video talking about how I felt with the closed beta, I'm still gonna be enjoying all the new stuff. It's technically recycling a lot of things that I will address in that video, but all in all, I will be playing with a lot of my old pals. The friends that I made in this game, friends that I might make, new friends that I might make, they're gonna make up the majority of my gameplay and my fun. Cause like without you guys, without the people that I linked up with, without those individuals, my comrades, teammates, friends, like I wouldn't be enjoying the game as much. And I know that back then, if I stick to being a loner and whatnot, I wouldn't be playing as heavily or getting into the mood of things, getting into the swing of things, and just, you know, all that stuff. I used to do a lot of it. I mean, there was a time where I tried to play this game solo too. It sucks. Doing time attacks by yourself back then, that was a piece of shit. Yeah, you can always catch, like, if you want to know more about me and most likely play with me, Discord would be the best way to try to contact me, get to know me a bit more. There's times where I just pop in when I see people in there, just talk to them, see what's going on, talk about PSO2 stuff, talk about some other things. Obviously, I am going to be addicted. I am most likely going to be going hardcore when NGS is released. I'm going to be drinking monsters. I'm going to be staying all night. I'm like, I don't think I showed how hardcore I can be with games. So you're going to see me do that when NGS is released. I wasn't hardcore as much with the closed beta because it was closed beta. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, why did I let my sister do that? You guys are gonna use that. See? Now, my sister wanted me to do it anyways, like in due time in my lifespan. So I decided to just do it and get out of the way before I forget about it and like never do it. So I gave my sister some stuff, and yeah, I wore the wig. Did I do that into LQ? I don't remember. I don't remember which LQ. Yuri. Now you're kind of pushing my button. What's this Yuri? Unless I watched it. And then Tier says free to play loner chiming in. It's all good. I mean, if you want to play the game by yourself, it's fine. Once again, I can understand why some people would want to not get close to people, especially if you have to think about it in the long run and you bumping into drama. But at the same time, it's not bad to have some friends to rely on, because we're human. We're human. Like, people need companionship, and like, you know, they don't want to be alone. Oh, it's a Shiva. How many red shirts? Oh god, why do you want to know that, Crow? No, I'm not giving you any information about that. Honestly, the red shirts, I only use those because it's just comfy to use at home. Like, I don't usually wear red in public. But yeah, anyways, let me talk about story time with how I met Rosen. Because Rosen, I think I met him, yeah, I met him in a lobby. He was just chatting away, or he was just being chill. And the guys that I was with, we just approached him and started talking to him. And then we all became chill with each other. We joked around and stuff. And then they just joined in on our group. And then slowly we started to add more people into the group, like Ison. Ison was a bit weird in the beginning. And I always thought that Ison was a girl. And I still confused him as a girl, along with like several other people in our small little private group. With this, oh, someone in RC stream about English-speaking players playing Japan PSO2. They asked if English players who play Japanese PSO2 will both play base and NGS or convert to global NGS. It depends. It depends entirely on how someone feels about it, because I know some people who played throughout a lot of the Japanese PSO2 moving to global PSO2 because they want a new start. I know that I'm going to still stay with Japanese PSO2. I might try to visit global every now and then, depends on my space as well in terms of my memory. I need to make a lot of room for it with NGS coming around the corner. Some people will most likely play both, but it ultimately depends on how much time you have and if you can devote said time, and also if you want to, keep the stuff that you have or just start over. I've seen that once, senpai. All I will do is just nod my head. Kodup's like, the person who asked that question was me. Oh, okay. Oh. Did it not show in my chat box? Or did I skip over it? But yeah, I was there over an RC stream. It was pretty fun. I actually like how RC was able to get the NGS face to work with their character. Or do you think Global will be coming to JP? Yeah, like, they just asked if you did see what they talked about in the chat. They asked if Global's mentality might leak over to Japan, and I feel like it's going to be a blank slate. Well, not entirely blank, but it's going to try to get rid of the stuff that has been established here and there. The fact that Global has a stamina, HP mentality is very weird. And it stemmed from certain perspective and aspects and stuff. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of that in NGS, especially with how little HP you get. Unless we wait till a bit later. Seal says, only for the streaming run, video one are okay. Oh wait, Ria says, I don't like repeating messages on here, but I think something is wrong with the Discord link. Okay, it's all good. Let me fix that now. Let me see what I did. So what did I do for this thing? I need to pin this as well. How the hell do I do YouTube stuff? I'm such a scrub. Jin's like, global exclusive contract. How much more? Oh yeah, I did give a shout out to you, Jin, for to Jin, his team, and then also to Blank, or Black, to Basics, because they did persuade me to go into the closed beta for global PSO2 NGS. So I did give a shout out to you, Jin, for that. When I'm drunk. Oh gosh. Oh wait, that might be an interesting stream to do if I... Should I do a stream where I play NGS while drunk? Might be a bit of a challenge since everything is new. I think more people in global will improve, but there will always be toxic, lazy people. There's always toxic people, good and bad. I mean, I don't know about good ones, but there's gonna be toxic people in the casual sense and in the elite sense, because there's gonna be people who will try to enforce stuff and just say like this is a certain way to do it. I don't like that sort of closed-mindedness, and the big thing that kind of leads up to how people are is also the amount of time, the experience they did. Global in Japan, it's very like the obvious factor that made them as they are now in all these different mentalities and things that people say here and there, it's because of that time span difference and how much time people put in it. 8 years versus like 8-9 years versus the 1 year from global. Like a lot of the vets just started, or a lot of the people who played thoroughly were able to... Oh wait, where's my thing? But it's do the drink game, you die, you drink. Oh gosh, that's what I did with the Dark Souls. I might consider that. It shouldn't be as bad, but we shall see. When drunk, first thing you do is throw away your 50. Oh gosh. Oh god. That would suck if you were like drinking and you were completely drunk to the point it's like, I don't need this gear. Then next day, what the hell? What happened to my gear? Oh no. I remember one of my guys, they got drunk to the point where they decided to buy stuff from me, and they were saying they're the Meseta Fox. I was like, what the hell's a Meseta Fox? It's someone who decides to buy equipment and stuff from their friends. And they looked at my shop. I was selling a bunch of female stuff, and their character specifically is a male. They never touched a female character. They didn't make a female character. So it was weird for him to buy a lot of my female outfits and clothes. And then the next day he was like, what did I do? I was like, you were a dummy and you bought all of these female outfits from me. Do you want the money back? He's like, no, I made a mistake. I said I was gonna give it to you and stuff. But I was like, you dummy. you don't have a female character. What you gonna do with this stuff? The truth is, you'll find toxic people, yeah. Like, the big thing is, it depends on how you tackle it and how you can adapt. And this is why it's important to just have that experience and just tackle it accordingly. The big thing that, like, you can do to deal with it is just walk away, don't listen to them, and just find the right people to hang out with. I didn't like how Global's mentality, not saying this is everyone, but some of the Global's mentality is like, they really shy away, or they didn't really like to talk about technical things in game, where it's not that bad to talk about, but they made it into a big deal where it's like, it is bad to talk about it, you should just focus on this instead. And if you go to Japan, there's like so many nice people that would say otherwise and give you as many pointers as many tips as they can. Like one of my guys that went from global to Japan, or at least visiting, they were talked to by a bunch of like other players, and they were trying to give so many tips and advice and stuff. But you got to be careful with that as well, because it's like if you overwhelm someone with a bunch of information overload, or you pretty much carry them throughout most of the game, they're not going to have as much fun because you're taking that away. You're taking away that blind aspect of the game or the learning experience of the game. So you really need to balance out some stuff and figure out, well, it ultimately boils down to how the person is. Because you want to know who you are talking to. You want to know what their sort of personalities like, their beliefs, their philosophies, and then you could point in the right direction. It's why I don't call out some people who may call me like being toxic, or those who, you know, have different opinions. Like, I get it. Everyone has the... Oh, hey there, Day. But everyone has their own different opinions and such. So it's hard to try to force someone to do something, and it's kind of bad to give them too much information. If they ask for it, then you provide, but if you give too much, you might ruin it. That's why when I watch VTubers, or anyone that's new to PSO2, I don't say as much. I pretty much lurk unless they say something and it's like, okay, I can answer this for them. Like, you gotta know your people, and this is why I decided to go out of my way to go and play on Global and see all these different mentalities. And the big thing is, you're not going to win all these different battles. If they want to learn, then you provide them the stuff that they need to learn. If they don't want to listen, then it's like, I'm not going to put up a fight. I'm not going to waste my time with you. There's other people that might want help and such. It's like, when people say like to save global, it's hard to do that when you're doing a giant battle against like so many different factors and stubborn people. Like I'm stubborn as well. The fact that I didn't go over to 3-click until NGS is like, what the fuck, Morph? But hey, since you're in here, you want to share anything? You want to have final thoughts? Hey, oh, there's also Rue as well.
I released a video talking about how PSO2 changed my life for the past 7 years. Really appreciated meeting all of you people, be it Abby, Heath, or you. Yeah, I mean, I don't really look at this as like a typical MMO. It's more like you can learn something from this. So yeah, it's more than just a game to me.
Right.
Basically. And you better save global, just saying.
Oh my god. I remember Rue talking about their time in like how PSO2 changed them too, so I'm in the same boat with that. Because this game, like, if I didn't meet the people, like B6 especially, in this game, I wouldn't have sticked around and did a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't have changed as well, because my personality back then was quite stubborn and selfish.
My times have changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. I still remember how I met you guys. Because, Rue, I think I met you through the Discord Arcs Council.
Yeah, we had an Arcs Alliance with we met through there with a person that will not bring up. But we kind of met through there, and we already had like a sub-community going on. And we ended up doing, you know, raids and whatnot together.
Mm-hmm.
I won't forget those times. Those times were really good times, and I still have contact with some of the people there. But I'm currently holding that place, and it's really at this point just like a social space. At this point, we don't really do much. We just chat about PSO2. That's about it.
It's all good.
God, but damn.
But yeah, I remember those times, because I was like traveling around the place and visiting teams from that group too.
Yeah.
And then I remember how I met Day. I thought Day was a chick in the beginning. Like, you did, like, I don't know, you kind of gave up a vibe where it's like, I don't know, I thought you were a chick, because you kept on hanging around Xeno, that's why. because I was like, oh, Xeno's a dude, so you know, if girls are hanging around him, they might be chicks as well. But then when you started talking stuff, I was like, oh wait, shit, Dave's not a dude, chick.
He's a pretty cool guy, so that's why I hang around him.
Yeah, like first time I met Day was well in B6. I saw him chatting about and hanging with Day. But then when I started to get the hang of time attacks, and I kept on asking like who want to run them, or like if you, I think when you guys ask about it, we would always group up and do those horrendous time attacks.
Oh God, time! I remember when time attacks actually became like a necessity for you to get you know a good amount of Meseta.
I think
And
time
so you
attack
had
is not the worst thing. The worst thing is unlocking time attack on your ult.
Don't even get me started with that. It was to the point where you well actually no, you still have to unlock them even to this day if you had like a fresh new character. So it was like it was even worse back then.
Yeah.
If you didn't have no one to help you out with that, you're screwed.
And like imagine having like so many characters back then, and you have to unlock it all for all your characters.
15 characters.
Jesus.
And this is why I only stuck with 2 characters and not went overboard like some of y'all.
I started to go crazy with it like later on, but in episode 2, I pretty much stuck with 3. But Jesus.
Should have just stuck with 3.
In a way, yeah, like once I started to do a fixing and marketing, it's like I could earn so much if I just toyed with this by itself. But no, I decided to go out of my way to do it. The big reason also was because I wanted to make so many different characters and have different themes for each one of them. And then also the different classes and saving on mags and whatnot. But yeah, no, it started to pile up eventually.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, the big problem was like, I think it was episode 3 when I just started to hate them because of the what was it? It became a weekly thing. And when I did my calculations, it's like I'm not getting as much like I did back then when it was every day. Like if I was playing like I think it was like every day with just 3 characters, I earned like maybe 20 mil compared to the weekly one where it wasn't even as much. I think it was only 3 mil because of that. I something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers.
You would get 2 mil per character. When you could be able to do weeklies. And you just have to save up, honestly. Like if you didn't have any kind of any other sources of Meseta, which that was me back then. I didn't have any other sources, and no one was really buying my stuff in the market, so I just saved money. Just kind of did weeklies almost constantly, and then I ended up converting XQs into grinders, and that's how I made my money.
Yeah, the way I made my money was just through augments and affixes. But the big problem was still the My Day 3-day pass. I really hate that pass. Like, don't get me wrong, it does what it does. But it would have been nice for almost all the players to have easy access to it and just limit the amount of stuff you could sell. Compared to that of premiums where you could just have a lot more things to sell. But no, this is the one game where it's like, why is the market... Like, to access it as a free-to-play, why do you have to do a gacha? And not only that, you had to deal with random chance of someone buying the stuff so you can add more, like, if it was limited, so you couldn't sell as many items. And because of that, it's like, whatever item you put, they better sell, or you're going to be stuck in wasting these days or time trying to sell more things, or sell as many things before the expiration kicks in.
Well, keep in mind, if you had more than enough X cubes, you can literally just abuse the fun scratch through the 1,000.
The problem is, even then, there's still RNG chance of pulling that. There's like some people I heard that never got a My Day 3-day pass after spending so much fun.
That's a fucking shame, honestly. Jeez.
Like I wasn't in that situation because once I started to get addicted to membership, I just get membership. I got membership and just use that to my advantage. But as a free to play, it was a struggle.
I think how I ended up getting into premium was through a gift I was given during my early days. I think back in 2016, I was helping a couple at the time, trying to get them adjusted with the game, helping them with the fixes, telling them what classes they could use if they wanted to and whatnot. And it was towards the end. It was just like a couple weeks after my birthday. They came up to me out of nowhere, and they ended up, giving me, I think like 2 months worth of AC and a gift in game for me helping them. And I nearly almost cried. I didn't know what to do, because I'm like, y'all giving me this as a gift? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I've never been given such things like that in my life online. I never had that, so it was hard for me to swallow and whatnot. And that kind of had me, go and start using premium.
Yeah. Man,
Hey,
just
you
reading.
like some Coke? Let me introduce you some Coke, and you'll get them forever. Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh god.
Basically, how it ended up, it's like premium and PS2 is actually not even that bad. It's
Mhm.
not like it's not how like other games treat it. No, it's pretty convenient. It's convenient. It's not a necessity. It doesn't have to be a necessity. It's not even a necessity, honestly.
Like you can do stuff without a premium, but it's just like if you get it, there's so many perks compared to like
Yeah, but
not
it's so
having it.
small.
Yeah.
It's small.
I mean
Go on.
what was I about to say? Global apparently got so many other perks that I wasn't aware of, which was kind of broken compared to what we were given in JP. Because they got the, what was it? Not only did they get the stuff that we have by getting premium, they also got a ticket so they can get the gold mission pass. And then the certain exploits that was going on with a bunch of the bots and stuff, there was another gimmick to it that was related to the premium stuff, or maybe some certain deal, but it's like Global made it really good to get premium, and I was like, excuse me.
Could speak to that deal because I was around your Xbox times. I think what it was when you signed up for Xbox Live Gold or whatever the hell that Xbox Game Pass is, you got premium and then you got like 2 AC tickets for like $1 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was the Xbox deal thing. It's like there was like so many things I was like, what? Excuse me, we don't have this. What? And hey, Jin.
Everybody's voice is really soft compared to yours.
Is
On
it?
the stream.
Oh fuck. Hold up.
Oh, really?
It's most.
I just got off. I'm doing a story record, so I'll be uploading that soon.
Okay.
But I gotta work on it. Yeah.
I think it's because I forgot to turn up the volume. Let me turn the music volume. Thanks for that, Jen.
I'm looking at someone saying, but will premium be as good as New Genesis? Oh, we don't even know the perks.
I feel
we don't
like
know.
everything that we have in
PS2
PS2
is just gonna transition into New Genesis, excluding room times, and that's really about it. I don't think there's gonna be a quest limit on like how many quests you can hold, because that was like a thing in PS2, where it's like it just extends the amount of quests you can take. But I don't think there's gonna be much for Preem per se, but they may end up sliding in some premium stuff down the line for New Genesis. But hopefully it balances out the same way that they did here. But they might be a little bit more draconian about it because of what has been occurring, like the bot situation of Global and the RMNT duping situation we have in JP. It's a little iffy on how they're gonna handle it.
I'm still annoyed at that. The thing is this duping copying glitch thingy mabob. I can't speak apparently. But that thing popped up back then in 2014 or something. And the fact that it popped up again, it's like, excuse me?
Yeah, the thing is, like, on the JP community, you were hella hush-hush about it. Very hush-hush about it. Like, you only would be in the know, in order for you to know, hey, there's a duping going around. But the moment it hit Global just took that for a ride.
It kicked in again in JP too, because there was like some people that duplicated stuff on JP. But
yeah, I know. But they just kept it hush hush. Like
right.
Not a lot of people knew that something like that was going on JP. It literally took Global to just blow it out of proportion, and when Sega found out, that was it.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm surprised that they never actually toyed around with that and fixed it, because
Me neither.
it's like, given that fucking time, which is like back then in 2014 or whatnot, and then it pops up again in 2020. It's like, you got 6 years. Why didn't you fix this?
Because they even, again, like, they were really hush-hush about it. Like, the people who are actually doing it, Sega just didn't know. Same thing with the bots. I think we didn't have that much issues with the bots over here in JP, but I know that it was a huge issue.
I feel like it
In
depends
global.
on how they just respond against it. But it's weird that they didn't fix some of these glitches and issues. Like, some of them is understandable, like, oh, okay, there's a bunch of returners being sold into NPC shop. That needs to be addressed ASAP, and it was. But for the glitching one, it's like, why did they fix that? I mean, there's still a good chunk of glitch and other issues still present.
Yeah, they're still present. It's just either never been addressed. I do remember there was like a couple of when the beginning of episode 6 came up. When Your Soccer was around, bro, they fixed the issues that was plaguing the game since episode 1, and it was never ever addressed.
The other problem too is that it's not just in PSO2. Apparently, these sort of things happened in the other games too, like in 1 or Universe, from what some people said.
So it's like a concurrent issue that they just never take care of bugs that will even long after they come out.
I just hope that when NGS comes out, I don't see as many of these issues. Cause, I mean, I'm asking a bit much with that, and knowing Sega, there might be some issues, along with like several things that...
It's the same engine. Hello.
God damn it. Please don't remind me. But it's like, I'm trying to be optimistic about it, alright? But at the same time, it's like, in the back of my head, very corner of my head, it's like, it's Sega.
It's like the one issue I remember in the first closed beta for JP was the VSync issue. If anyone knows what the VSync issue was on chat.
To address you, PK, the returners that were in the shop, it was in the NPC shop, so let me just show who
It was
that
Returner 2 in the NPC,
Well, I thought it was Returner 1s. I didn't know it was 2.
It was 2 actually.
Oh, well, fuck. So I was wrong with the great time. So this guy right here in front of me, apparently in one of the updates, they accidentally put a bunch of Returner 2s in this guy's shop. And people quickly bought the living shit out of it once they heard about it. However, Sega addressed it and
they rolled
fixed
back
it.
the server.
They rolled back the server and banned those people.
Did they ban them? I feel like
they did.
They did?
They did. They ended up banning those people that ended up doing the exploit. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, it wasn't an exploit because it was like, it was on Sega's fault for not fixing it. And people just spread it around and they bought it. So I didn't know they banned people for that.
Yeah, they ended up banning those people that actually, that found out about it. Like, Sega kind of took it as like an exploit, if I recall correctly.
But it was Sega's fault for having that in the shop.
Bro, it ain't the first time that they ended up banning people for the problems they caused.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I was wrong with some of my facts. I thought like I felt like some people just were able to keep this stuff, because I remember seeing a lot of Returner 2s in the market back then after that incident.
Same. I remember you was the one that told me about the issue as well. Like, oh hey, people were like selling returners. Well, how Sega was placing returners in the NPC shops, and people just kind of ended up buying them, make fodders out of them, and just sell them on the market, just like flipping the price. It's like exactly what happened.
I love how the people that were hanging out with us in game went to B20. Like they're having a party, but it's a lot of old people, oldies, vets, trying to reenact that of like what B20 was, which was a bunch of spamming and screaming.
Yep.
It's pretty much like they're trying to do B20 things, which I don't mind. But yeah. You guys want to share stories about like times when you went into B20 back then?
Oh, I avoid hell. I remember even before PSO2 was even a thing. I had friends from high school. I had friends online and told me, for the love of God, if you go into PSO2, do not go into B20 or do not come into B1. went into them, and I felt like my brain cells was committing suicide.
Yeah, it's like, well, there's certain individuals that definitely make you feel like you lose your brain cells. But what was it? Yeah, the B20 days was just shit. I remember I went there because I saw a lot of talkative people, and I tried to, as one, be a noob and just get some help over there. That was
a mistake.
That was a huge mistake. I love how the person comes back and be like, "Don't go to B20, it's chaos." I'm aware.
Yikes. I went into B20 back in the day and I saw that one team. What is that team called? Code or something? And they're just spamming shit there. I'm like,
what
the
fuck?
And
I think it was also Wild. Oh god, me saying the word. I don't know. Well, I'm not being monetized, so fuck it. Wild Dicks was also another thing too, I think.
Oh my lord, Wild Dicks. Oh no.
Yeah, it's like.
And then there's the benchers.
I remember.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, there's like the benches actually moved entirely to global from what I've been hearing with the.
Yeah, I saw them on global on B7 by the way, just like a month ago or so.
Yes.
Y'all remember too many cooks?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that shit.
I'm gonna say it on the stream. That was the very first team I was on. I was on Too Many Cooks.
Oh
I was
shit,
picked
it's
up.
full. Another Odie.
Yeah, Fo was a good guy.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He's a good host.
There was like a bit of issues that happened.
There was
then.
a really big fall between him and our group. I'm just saying.
But I feel like, you know, people are moving on and getting past it. I mean, some people may not forgive some stuff, but I feel like as vets and old players, we just like, you know, we still reminisce and still miss the old times.
Man, I remember when freaking expert blocks was a fucking thing. Y'all
Man.
remember expert blocks?
I really didn't
The
give two
multi-block
shits
matching,
about the experts at the time back then.
Oh man, bro. You know, I remember beating like when the first requirement was just like, you know, beating Heaven on Hell, like 1 through 5.
They changed that every year, didn't they?
I know, yeah. Like every single couple of year, they would have they'll add in like a new requirement. But like back in the days, it was like beat Heaven on Hell 1 through 5. I beat it and we use it nothing more than Gunner Ranger and Gal TMG, the Gal Griffin TMG, new type. Oh god.
Man, what did I feel? Okay, so when they first introduced Expert, I didn't give two shits about it. Because, what was it? I had my Austerities, and they try to force you into going into new type weapons. I was like, I'm not doing that.
They were hella aggressive with that, especially with the collection files.
Oh yeah, the collection files just like dumb down the farming process or just slowly introduce that.
Yeah,
I feel like collection file makes life a lot easier though. Back then when Ares came out, you gotta actually farm that shit. Shit was
when
so
the
bad.
Austere was like the popular weapon, you had to farm everything for that thing.
Farm XQ. Like,
I remember when I was when I actually got my first Austerity, bro. My gaming laptop at the time literally just like crashed. Like it didn't turn it refused to turn on. Like as soon as I was turning in my items to get my first Austerity, my freaking laptop crashed. Like it broke down.
Bro, I was playing on an Ultrabook. Ha, even worse.
Oh god. Oh man. Yeah. Those are some memories.
Some really good old. I even had a screenshot and record on that freaking Ultrabook too. It was funny as fuck.
I still have I wish I had my old pictures from like 2016, but I only have very few left.
Screenshot on like tier 0 graphic. Oh boy.
I didn't know that I had to go out of the game for me to go and change the tiers of the graphics. So for like the first like year or two, I was playing the game on tier 1 graphics rather than tier 6.
Were you playing like 2 FPS?
No. This was when I had my gaming laptop at the time, so I was fine. I was perfectly fine. It was just that I didn't know I was running the game on the lowest graphics.
Oh man.
I'm gonna get on my cast characters since I'm seeing my old pals getting on it. Man, my first ever character I made in PSO2 was the toaster bot, the Black Shadow. I have so many moments where I wanted to kill him and delete him.
Why? That was your first character.
Yeah, that's why. That's the big thing that stopped me from doing it. Like, I made him into a Space Marine look now, but like, there's a lot of sentimental value with this guy. The big reason to why I wanted to kill him was because of the mag. Like, his mag. If you're looking on the screen, my mag is shit. It's all over the place.
Bro, I did the same rookie mistake too. You don't want to see my first mag. You know what? Yeah, y'all don't want to see my first mag. I had stats is like all over the place, but then when the hero came out, that kind of just rectified it. I was like, there's no need for me to bother with this messed up mag. It's very good at it's fine as is because hero will just cover all those bases anyways.
Oh damn! Where's my cast parts? Shit. Where's my OG cast parts? Trying to remember the exact look I had back then for this guy.
Yeah.
Unless they gave it to my other character. Shit, I think I did.
And those were the days. Those were the days. I cannot for the life of me forget the times I've had, my ups and downs of this game. I would say if it wasn't for freaking PS2, I would not be where I am right now with y'all. Y'all are like a second part of a second family. I wish I had when I was younger. Honestly. This game is a good game, despite its multiple faults. And even now, I just feel like they just kind of left the game unfinished. So a lot of the things that you did into.
It's sad that they just left it as it is too. Like, there's so many things they could have worked on.
Bro, the moment they say they're not gonna have any more balancing patch, I'm just like, are you guys just gonna let this game rot and like move on? Damn, that's rough.
I mean, they're probably gonna have maybe one or two balances, but it's not gonna be like as like crazy because everyone's just gonna be focused on New Genesis.
What happened if their update is not that fast and people get bored in like a month?
For New Genesis?
Yeah. The next one, the big one, is gonna be in September, but we have a lot of time.
The next, well, no, we got. See, let me check. I need to check the freaking schedule.
I mean, it's like a new class coming out, isn't it? September?
No, next class is in well, Brave Risen is in August, so we have 2 months.
2 months. I doubt people is gonna have that much fun in 2 months. Probably like.
Well, it depends on.
I'm gonna show how chaotic V20 is right now on stream. I can't view Simba art, but
Yo, I'm gonna go to.
Oh shit!
Let's see what's there. What is in V20?
How much stuff is being said? I don't think it's that chaotic yet. They might start getting chaotic again, like at the very
last hour,
5 minutes or so. Yeah.
Jesus, so many people here. Holy fuck.
I'm not on PS2 at the moment. I kind of already done my time, honestly. I think what I've done so far will pass over to New Genesis, and I just can't wait.
Yeah, I feel like it's quite tame right now. Going back to V6.
Yeah, I think I've. Let me just going back into PS2 one more time and do the New Genesis transition on my male character. I'm just checking the roadmap real quick. So, blah 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 blah. God damn, it's so loud.
Is there anything you need to do on your character though, or no? For preparing for NGS? Is there anything like you have to throw something in your certain storage or something like that? You have to do? Or no?
Yes. Store your gear, whatever is in your inventory into your storage. So just to be sure, just to be sure that your stuff will be transitioned.
Not only that, didn't they talk about temporary storage as well?
Any storage.
So your weapon, your everything, I guess.
Yeah,
damn.
Everything. Yeah, everything that's in your inventory, just put them in your storage. You'll be able to get them back in New Genesis when the game bumps up. Just find a Ryuker device and you'll be able to get hold of your storage. So
let's see.
In July, we're gonna have an anniversary event, Japan/Global Joint Leveling event, and then by August, we're gonna have Braver, and they're gonna have Defense Quest release and Mega Evolution share system. By fall, we're gonna have Bouncer, and that's gonna bring in the Trigger Quests, the NGS Mission Pass, the Untitled system. And by the winter, which most likely will be December, a new region, level cap increased to 35, and new class skills and techniques. By next year, we should have Summoner, and then the brand new class is going to come with Gunslash.
Luster 2.0.
We can see, but remember they're following the 2 to 3 weapons rule for each class. So
What do you mean? Gunner only has TMG man. You can't do shit with rifle.
yeah, that's the one thing I don't get.
Wait,
Like, bro, you give. What's the point of giving Gunner a freaking? You should just gave Gunner a shotty. Like, give him a shotgun. But no, because what's the point? You could might as well just fuse. I know, no, but it was like apparent. I know. It's just like it just kind of bugs me a bit because I know what you mean. And it infuriates me because Sega could have just brought in give a shotty to Gunner. Goddamn. Anyways, yeah, I might as well do the transition now. Just press I. Oh, you don't need to access the Ryuga device to access your storage and you just press I. Okay. Either way, just put your stuff in.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, just rather be safe than sorry. Just go to your Ryuga device.
Man, some of my buzzers just come over here.
Are you guys on B20?
Nah, we moved to B6. We're up on the one of the elevators, just chilling.
Alright, yeah, I'm on my way. 7 o'clock, yeah. For maintenance, yeah?
We have an hour, I'm pretty sure. A little over an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see Rosen. Okay.
Yeah, oh my
scars
God.
here.
There's most of my trusted people right here. Almost all the people that I still have contact with that played with me throughout the years. Rosen that I met in episode 3, Foe Day back in episode 2 days in B6. Rue, I think I met you in episode 3 era. Scar.
Yeah, you kind of made me towards the tailor end of episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Yo. Oh god, I'm just oh, man. Damn, 5 years. 5, and my account will say, oh, you've been using this account for 8 years, but I didn't officially play PSO2 until 2016.
Yeah, there's just
that's the weird part.
Oh damn. Oh my pals. Ah jeez. Did I? Huh.
Hey, fair enough.
It's hard for me to try to remember a lot of players. The only way I would know is if you were on my friend list or your name really stood out. I didn't have account names above people's head. I usually sticked with the character name. If your character name stood out, I might have remembered you, but it's hard for some people that knew me, but I don't remember them entirely. It's I remember some of the people on my friend list, but those who haven't friended me and they come up to me and be like, oh, I remember you back then. I'm like, yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing in real life too, with some people know me because of my Morphsuit America. Then they're like, you're Morphsuit. I'm like, yeah. How do you know me?
I get that sometimes too. Like I would get like some people like stumbled upon me like while I'm in the lobby and say, "Hey, use my actual name, my actual IRL name," because I'm on the PSO2 Facebook group with that a lot.
Bro,
Yeah,
I tell you something real creepy. I was on Global, right? I joined a random online. Someone said, "Hey, you're that guy on YouTube, right?" I'm like, "Wait a second. How do you know me?" What are you talking about?
I'm okay with people stumbling upon like my YouTube stuff, but then you'll get people like literally blasting an IRL name because you put your work right next to it. I'm like, I would literally just drag them to the DMs. I'm like, no, just go with my YouTube or my in-game name. That would be pretty nice. And most of them would be really respectful about that. So I was like, yeah, but nah. Recently, I uploaded a video. And some dude freaking just blasted my IRL name on the comics. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Jeez.
I just ended up just like deleting that comment. I'm like, what? Delete. Oh, jeez. Oh man. Y'all remember when Deuce was actually an actual legitimate boss before the nerf?
It was only like 2 weeks though, or 1 week. I forgot.
I didn't do Deuce runs that much back then. I think I did a couple.
And it had such a high fill rate back then. Like holy shit.
Yeah, I remember day one when Deuce came out. I kind of felt it was a really genuine, actual good boss because it was like it's very intense. It's like you're dealing against a god, for Christ's sake. You're building yourself, going through the phases of reaching up to Deuce. And then they had like a damage requirement, like a damage check, which we didn't have that much.
Last phase is like 5
I
minutes.
liked how most of our times back then in the past, it was like they really put us in very harsh conditions where
yeah, they did.
like the introduction of Ultimate Quest, that was a huge jump. It was like it was like we get in there, those mobs are super aggressive, and we didn't really have the best of gears and equipment because we only had like 10-star units and then 11-star weapons, if you're lucky a 12-star. But it was like, holy shit, what did we get into?
Oh, bro, I remember when 12 stars would start coming out. It took me a couple months for me to get like first, batch of like rank 12 units. Jesus. So
yeah,
hard.
I remember the time when Dave got so obsessed with running ultimates, and they really wanted that chainsword.
Bro, oh god, I remember when rank 14 started coming out. I didn't get my first rank 14 until episode 5. Episode 5 was when I would get my very first rank 14, which was Eternal Cycle Drive. Because Sega. To storage and then.
Oh man.
It would put us in some pretty tough spots until they got a little too easy. They started to be a little bit more like casual towards the tail end of episode 4, and episode 5 came up, and then that's where things just kind of went downhill.
Most likely a lot of people are in B902 because there's a meetup with a VTuber, if they're still streaming.
Yeah, there is. There's been like this is up the entire morning.
Damn, the entire morning? Shit.
Yeah, when I was coming home, that's what ended up happening. Like, yeah. Who cares? Zen weapons. Bro, you know what happened with the Zen weapons? It became a necessity for you to get them because, you needed to go through if you couldn't get it as a drop, you needed to go through the gauntlet of doing the collection files like 6 times for you to finally actually be the max amount. Yeah, and you needed to catch Deuce when he was on.
There's like so many things that like in the past for JP and maybe even Southeast Asia where we were like in very strict situations where it's like you really want the best gear, you gotta really farm, you gotta be on point with your shit. The fact that like some people were crazy over Magatsu and just like made sure that
Magatsu was fun.
Wake up like 5 a.m. to do that.
I did too. I would literally leave my computer on and wait until Magatsu come for me to go and get back on, do Magatsu, and go back to sleep.
You park yourself
Yeah.
at like the first SH block or some shit where you're fucked when you come there.
Oh my
It's
On
full.
ship 2, like some of the Japanese players or like the really good players started to do something else, which was like give it a few minutes, they choose a random block, and then they start going ham on it, and they just spam it constantly. But you had to wait for a few minutes for them to do that. It was kind of like a gate sort of
gateway.
thing. It wasn't like it was utterly controlled, but a lot of the good players that knew their shit, they were in that block.
Oh yeah.
But it was like there's so many things that we went through. It's like we went through hell, and then we became the veterans that we are. Then it's like all these changes. It's like this is nothing.
Bro, god damn, holy, what was my worst situation? Was dealing with Chrome Dragon for the very first time by myself. I used to hate that boss because how much it used to kick my ass.
Gosh, who was the worst enemy for me? Anga, right? Was it Anga? Yeah, I think.
Anga, oh my lord. Anga was one of those bosses where you needed to have more than like one weapon on you. Like it was meant for like PSO2 at the time because like you can run with any weapon you wanted so long it fit the situation. But it was no longer the case, and I'm kind of glad like they're bringing it back into PSO2 for New Genesis, where mix and match weapons however you want, depending on your playstyle and whatnot.
So mad at Sega for like dropping that concept of multi-class and just like abandoning the crafting. Because if they kept crafting around, it would have played a factor into how you could go about finishing some endgame stuff, and you wouldn't need to rely heavily or as much on augments and affixes. But because they didn't do that, it's like augments and affixes are something you would want to poke at least. Not with the grandest of abilities, but just know a bit about it. And if they were able to address these things, it would have been nicer to see some other combos and just a bunch of different ways to go about beating endgame. But pretty much it's like you have to actually know some augments and affixes and stack up on it. If it was back then, like I remember one of the guys I talked to in the comments, they pointed out like different sort of fix systems, what they could have done and all that. And the big thing that I countered with was the fact that they made augments and affixes become like a huge pivotal thing because they didn't work on these other things that could influence that. Maybe more stats from the time abilities, actually extending your weapons and units, but they just dropped that all, and it sucks that they did that. And it might have been because of the different directors or just different goals, but all in all,
I would say different director. I would personally will say because of the fact that PSO2 underwent multiple directors. Like each episode had a different director at best.
Episode 1 and 3 were like the same guy though.
Yeah, well, it was the same guy. Well, episode 1 through 3 was the same guy, and then the moment episode 4 went, they were just switching episodes from like switching handling of the game from like one director to another, where it should be just one consistent director, unless God forbid they pass away or something happened to them where if they couldn't help with the game anymore, then okay, switch it to another director, but that director needs to hold the philosophy that the entire team went under.
I feel like the first director was pretty much trying to go into the community route too, because of those videos that were up on the screen where it's like Power Rangers and like some helpful guides and challenge videos and like funny parodies and skits, that just like ran home, and it's like, this is very creative, this is something that could have happened,
but they didn't happen that way.
They didn't keep it, and it sucks. No. Like they drifted away.
Episode 4 was like the last thing that they did, where it was just like teaching players how to like grind your weapon, to like understanding the new type system at the time. Until they kind of got rid of that. So, and then even the newbie NPC on your left hand side, right hand, I forgot the cast lady that's supposed to be there. They just give you like a freaking like a brochure of what you're supposed to do, but not an actual thorough full-fledged tutorial. And a lot of people get confused. I mean, bro, when we started playing PSO2, they just threw us in. We didn't have a freaking tutorial. We didn't have I remember playing like when I came in like back in like 2016 before episode 4. I didn't have a tutorial. They just threw me in. I just had to work with what I had.
Same with me. It was kind of hard for me to just figure out what all the things were. Yeah, and I hope for New Genesis they fix that. I brought that up when I was talking about the closed beta for NGS, which I'm getting
they fixed
tonight
it
and stuff. Like they need to make sure they cover all the basic grounds and have the game at least explain all the little gimmicks that needs to be explained, because if you go into augments and affixes, they don't go heavy into details about how to do it. When it comes to certain gimmicks and mechanics, they don't have it shown as easily unless you go through story or something. That kind of explains why this is a thing. With New Genesis, like it explains a lot of it in game. Well, except the actual core in-depth details about it. But like they do talk about it. The only question is, are people going to go out of the way to get those client artists and know about those things, or do you need to force them to do it? Like if you're able to show everything in action and through a tutorial or like a story mission or something, you'll be able to get past like some of the hurdle people might bump into, and at least give them the basics so they can work with it, and that will be throughout most of the gameplay.
Right. I agree. But also keep in mind, since affixes is also ties in with your battle power, you most likely will be affixing often because of the fact that you need to get through those hurdles in order for you to do higher and much more difficult content.
Equipment and augments and affixes, yeah, those levels too. Oh, how do you guys feel about the cocoons?
I'm okay with the cocoons. Cocoons are perfect way.
It's gonna be like you do it once and it's done forever. I'm pretty sure.
I could see this. I could see cocoons like Mantower as a pretty good way to either bring back older content or a way to enticing the player, because remember they're tied behind skill points now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And apparently in the beta, because I did make 2 different characters, they had to go through it again so they can get the skill points. So it wasn't account lock. If it became,
are you sure? I remember it being bound to account. You sure? I thought it was.
I need to go through the replay. I remember hearing it was
account bound.
But yeah, I had to go through it. Like, what do you mean? The skill point was already account bound?
Skill point.
Okay.
Yeah, skill point.
I might have glossed over that, but for the tutorial, like the storyline stuff,
the tutorial,
I had to actually go through that again.
Yeah.
It's like, if they could allow a skip button for that, I wouldn't mind it, or at least have it account locked so it knows like, hey, look, you already did it. That'd be great. If it doesn't, then I might kind of complain about it, and it reminds me of the past, which is where, goddamn, unlocking everything again, like, oh god. All the maps that I had to do for each character that I made, all the coffee client orders, god damn.
I remember. I think Cocoons and Towers is a good way for speedrunning. Good way for speedrunning, or like relearn some of the mechanics that you might have forgotten. During your playthrough, because again, like New Genesis is gonna be like a whole lot of platforming.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I remember I didn't like about what is it? Oh, the jumping, the wall jump. Now I'm okay with all the animations and stuff. It's when you need to do it multiple times back to back, because like you actually, it's like it's not smooth in terms of its continuous motion. When you do that, like if there's a tall mountain, you're kind of stuck with doing 2 jumps. And then after that, you need to find good ground and then try to do it all over again.
Do it again, yeah. I agree.
It would have been nice if it just like you hop
that should
up.
suck.
Yeah, because
I can see that.
I struggled with that stupid mountain.
Trying to get up to the top of a mountain. Yeah, I know the struggle.
But yeah, like if you were able to time it right, where you can find placements and then just stop there, then do double jumps and then stop, double jumps and stuff, that'd be fine. But it would be nice if it was just continuous.
Climbing mechanic.
Who be in here? Zaz?
It's Abby. What do you mean?
Oh.
Wait, are you at work again, Abby?
No, he actually saw the text.
Ah, hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
I also wanted to say, before we move on to the next topic, cocoons. many people, and I mean many people, because this was back when a lot of us were hyped about CBT live streams, even when you guys were playing it.
Mhm.
Biggest grip of it, good design, terrible results. Because people and even I myself would see it without playing it. Because, dude, everyone has been saying the same, which I agree. It is barren and empty, and majority of them all is all the same. It's good
No,
for
it's like you
speedrunning.
do it
Yeah,
once and it's done.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is no point. Speedrunning tactic, it's non-existent. Just like they say, it's not good for speedrunning because it's gone forever when you do it once. It's got nothing going for it, and as far as parkour, it is very stagnant and linear, and there's really no good. Like, you don't get anything out of it. There's no good learning curves besides simple jumping and wall jumping, but like it's all the same.
I think it's more or less to like show them, the player, the mechanics of the base game. I think that's kind of that's what they were going for.
They could have done that with one cocoon, or at least just two, but they did it with all of them. They're all the same, like no difference at all. Just little tiny little tweaks here and there, ups and downs. But the biggest,
Hopefully they get that addressed.
like the biggest thing that worries me is they didn't really address it, even though the community was talking a lot about it, and they would always publicly announce something about it. They didn't, and another really downside.
What you mean? You talking about in terms of the closed beta?
Yeah.
What the thing? What I noticed is that the global closed beta is literally the same build as the Japanese CBT.
Yeah, that's what got me worried. Like it got
still
addressed so
literally
many
the
times
same.
within. It got addressed so many times since the beginning, and not once has Sega like talked about it openly. They didn't say anything about it.
Maybe it's either like their intention for the time being, but once we start getting into like new areas, new regions and whatnot, they'll spice it up for now. Spice it up.
I think they will, but I don't think they're gonna do it where they're gonna do it as glamorous as amazing as we may expect it to be. Because like they just say, if you do it once, it's gone. So I don't think they're gonna put work into something that's only a one-time thing.
I'm kind of confused. If it's like that, then I'm just confused to the.
Like it looks cool,
Like,
but it's so because there are no enemies. It's a ghost town. It's a little ghost town.
it's kind
like,
of
it's
a
not
one-time
just
use, and it's only like the big
exactly.
thing is it's like it's kind of like a tutorial, and then you kind of want to do it because of the fact that you get your skill points from
You
it.
get skill
I
point.
think
Yeah.
that I think what they said is true.
Boy, what did they say?
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Gotcha.
I was saying you only do it once and you basically unlock that thing for your whole account, so you don't have any point to go back to it.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing that that's the biggest right thing that they said. It really backs it up. Where it's not a tutorial tower. It's not teaching you anything.
Sorry,
It's-
my voice is.
It's
Sorry, my
alright.
voice is very bad. Yes, it's very bad.
Alright,
It's all good,
Right
don't
now,
worry about it.
you're
Don't worry
good.
about it.
I
story
literally.
short on this, and I will say is
He did.
He cut out. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's damn.
I literally woke up too. It's like
I'm just sitting here just hoping that it doesn't repeat stuff, but knowing Sega.
it will. It will, because why would you put work into something that's a one-time thing?
I would just say for now on paper in terms of advertisement, it's gonna pull a lot of
Come on, Dad.
players. Let me finish. It's just gonna
You
pull.
were too optimistic. Like
I'm trying to be optimistic, come on.
okay, anyway, no. I believe what they said is true because I think
Mhm.
early game.
Wait, did you cut out again?
Yeah.
Like-
Oh god.
The biggest problem with NGS is going to be
But like, here's the thing, like, yeah, everyone can keep using the excuse of early this, early that, but that's not the point. Like, me and Dave, Heath, and others were discussing about just any game in general, about the whole early game content. It doesn't matter about
So
that.
I'm not
It's-
used to this streaming thing. Okay, let me just say this for complete sense. Sorry guys, I am not used to the delay. Today's video said that people are going to burn out very quickly because NGS is
kidding.
You might want to turn up the sensitivity on your microphone a smidge.
Yeah, no, Terra had the same problem. I played Terra since beta, and we got to endgame, and it was dead content for ages because they had to add the what was it? The Argon Queen.
It's gonna be dead in 2 weeks. I told you.
And well, no, I'd say for global side it's gonna be dead for 2 weeks. But
I don't know
for
about that.
JP side, I'm only exclusively saying for the people who know what they're doing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
2 weeks at most for global. At least less than a week for JP.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that assessment, considering what I've seen on Global since I play on both.
We also need to see how much story-wise stuff they put into the game, how much attention they can hold from one player. If that's something they cannot do, then we are gonna get bored until the next patch. So yeah.
And you know there's going to be those select few people who are going to want to get all the achievements in their cocoon and clear it in the fastest time possible.
Yeah, but it's gonna suck because it's gonna happen because they're pretty much you can't redo. It doesn't make sense because you can't redo them, and even though it's early content, like they could spice it up like Dad said, but like they're not really gonna do it too crazy unless it's end game. Because I can see it in end game.
I mean,
But I can never see it from point A to point like fucking B until we get past that.
there's gonna be. I think the people who aren't gonna quit are just gonna mainly be like older players and veterans because we're used to just having our like daily grind and shit. So
Yeah, it might still be a grind session, but yeah, that's the big thing. It's like obviously the appeal is definitely towards new players, which can make a backlash where it's like the vets that know their stuff and seeing so many of the things that they did might start to leave it, especially with how it might get a bit too greedy with how there's so many things that you're gonna have to try
Founders
to
pack.
get again.
Nice.
Founders
They
pack,
already are.
animations, new Genesis stuff, new Genesis hair, lobby action. I mean, yeah, but it's like I don't even know if it's tame because it depends on how one looks at it. It depends on like their person's situation in terms of money and stuff. Welcome back, Rio.
Also, the thing is there's no more saying might or if because they already started it. Like, Ted, don't you remember we were watching the prologue stream? We called it out that they're gonna keep doing all this bullshit where they're gonna keep pushing all this bundle crap, and then we were fucking right.
Yeah.
We were right.
I was shocked to see the materials, but at the same time I wasn't because
True. I mean, we just don't know with NGS. I mean, it looks amazing, but
look at these guys up here like a
long-term
bunch
for
of
me,
cool
I'm waiting for
kids.
Protocol.
What up, Tim?
So
Oh man, though it's just I'm trying to be optimistic, but
No. Here's another thing about being optimistic. It's more hurtful. It's more negative. It's got more cons and demerits. If you want to be more optimistic.
Well,
And I'm not saying this.
I get it.
Because
No, I get what
we-
you're saying because it's like you're kind of lying about it.
Yeah,
You're being too optimistic. It's just
that,
that.
and also because all of us here fucking love the game. We're all veterans. We all have common sense. We know what we did. We knew what we're doing. We know what to do. But Sega isn't focusing on us. They're focusing on people who are
The newer
beneath us.
player,
I know what you
basically.
say, but they're focusing the people who are beneath us.
And
Not in a
there's-
sense where like we're superior, but in a sense where like they're just stupid.
No, the thing is it Josh Trife or something like that? He's been doing a series on MMOs, and our optimism and hype is how a lot of the time we'll play an MMO and we'll ignore the faults, and then once you quit, you realize like, why the hell did I play that game? That game for me was Genshin.
Bet.
I can
And,
I can understand why that is. That's fair enough. As a person who
Yes.
plays still.
Just to go back
Top
into
it off.
the you can go 10.
and to top it off, we've been playing this game long enough to know that Sega be up to some bullshit from time to time.
Exactly.
One thing that bothers me from the global perspective, as a person who plays on there and here both, it's they do ninja updates to global, and it really pisses me off. And it's usually updates in regards to like they did a thing where they didn't announce in global when they were gonna bring the ultimate booster shop to us. They just put it in there. Didn't tell us. Just put it in there, which really pissed me off. But I don't know. We'll see.
Felt like they forgot about it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
They never forget about their AC scratch update. Hello. Huh?
Yeah, that's another big reason why I don't ever see anything being too spiced up.
I'll just
But they-
like the reason why I'm being sort of optimistic is because see it till until you see it and actually
We
prove it in game.
have been though.
I
But
mean,
here's the thing though. Like
the problem is,
during-
especially if I had to try to persuade a global player to kind of like see our view, they would need to have years of experience and stuff. And the problem is, you can't get global players to be on that page because of the time span and the differences and the executions and whatnot, the upbringing pretty much. But since it's going to be on the same page, like we'll be able to point this out. Like we'll be able to use the reference in PSO2, but we can add more to it because of what's going on in that moment. So I'm only saying stuff, but when it happens, it might do a 180 where, especially if you remember how I felt about going to global and I was like, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. Then when I into global, it's like, oh shit, it's bad. Not everyone, but the things that I saw in randoms and some public stuff, it definitely betrayed a lot of my expectations.
That's the thing, like optimism, this and that. It hinders you because you went in there, you knowing what you could do, what you're capable of, and so you expected a little too much, just like we are doing with NGS, and it just get you all the demerits in your face.
Right.
All
Well, I
your,
wouldn't.
like it's out the window.
Well, it's better than trying to overhype it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the
It's too
thing.
late. What do you
I think
mean?
being very too optimistic is
Your
another.
videos on global, some of them were very funny because I could tell you were holding back.
It's like I went into global with low expectations, and I'm still surprised, but at the same time, I kind of not surprised they didn't add that one weapon series into the game that you can buy with badges.
Ah, the Rinzas over there in global, yeah. They didn't finish some updates and stuff. They might added, but actually I can't vouch.
Well,
for that. Never mind.
Rinzers are in global now, but it took them way too long to add them. But yeah, the point still stands.
How
And
do you purchase them then?
they drop off of TPD and HTPD.
But that's doing it. Like over here in JP, we have that 2021 shop.
Okay, here's my story of global. I was watching it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was considering to play it, and then as soon as I noticed that they were doing lobby actions in beta, and PC wasn't in yet, I was like, fuck this.
Oh.
Yeah, like after going to global, like I already released a video covering most of it. It's just that it was a different feel. I can see how some people enjoy it, and it's like if you have the right community and people, you'll be able to enjoy it. But it's a living nightmare, and it's definitely different from what I experienced on the Japanese side, especially with how randoms weren't as great. It was like you have to pray that you get into good randoms, and that's like an 80-20 split. And
That's their fault for not adding
That's
in
true.
expert mode.
it's like it's so many things, and once again I don't want to point out like some of the stuff that might get me in trouble, and most likely it's gonna, because it's gonna be in the stream replay, but
Expert
like,
is bad. It'll split the player base.
Yeah, they want to leech off of the good players, dude. Come on.
the other thing that bothered, like the reason why I rage quit was just because I knew how greedy like the global side was, especially with the fresh find. I can get the pros to having to get these things.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that you mentioned expert mode and global. It's you will instantly get
You post on Reddit, you get downvote to hell.
No, you
Yeah.
get called a sweat lord, even if you try to help them.
How dare you? How dare you
Yeah.
talk about expert?
Yeah, it's so confusing when like people complain about expert. It's like I know casuals that aren't even hardcore like some hardcore players, and they're okay with doing expert. They can easily clear expert, but
It's not that bad, really.
it's
It
like-
isn't.
It shows
What?
you how much of a fucking the community over a global side is.
The
of a bunch
difference
of them.
on the mentality
They're
is just so big.
damn soft skinned. They're damn hypocritical about themselves. They boast so much
Like,
BS. on people
But
who
what's-
attempt to do something, and then they fucking fall off the grid, just like fucking criticizing themselves because they fucking were sweat lords. It doesn't matter. There are a lot of casuals who want to fucking learn everything. Is that so bad? And then they fucking go on to just be hypocritical about everything they say and spat out nonsense on Twitter, defending themselves in the most poorest way possible.
So fucking sensitive, all these people.
It's
Jesus.
With
not
some of the
everyone,
friends.
but it's like
Strange
I never
because we're ship 2, which has a mix of English and Japanese players, but
Mhm.
the Japanese etiquette is still here.
yeah, it's like we just pick up on a lot of things, and it's once again it could be because of that upbringing. There's a difference in how 8 years versus a 1 year. Like people count on to things that happen in game modes. It's like there's a new quest for the release of Face of the Abyss. I remember only a few people died. It wasn't as bad like how it was when I saw it on Ship 1 and Ship 2 on Global's release. And then give it a couple more runs, they adapted so fast to the point where there's no one dying in these runs. But it's just that. It's like the upbringing and how it was executed. It's like the example I talked about. You have a father and a son, and there's another father and son, and it depends on how they raise their son. So if one was stern, strict, and give a lot of lessons behind why they had to do this, and this, they will be most likely upstanding and following the certain things that they were taught, good and or bad. Then there's the spoiled son, spoiled father, spoiled son, where the father just spoils them and adults them and give them a bunch of stuff and don't really criticize them as much, and when they grow up they get to bump into a lot of issues where they might complain about a lot of stuff, or they actually had to work for some things when they didn't really need to do that in the past. So it's
I don't get why people are so afraid to try and learn something. I get it. It's like some people might not have the time, but why do you play an MMO then, or an MMORPG, if you're not willing to put in the time to learn? That's my biggest concern. As again, my perspective is very different because I didn't play JP as much as you guys, and I appreciate all the help that I have gotten from JP players. But just the mentality of some of these people are so hard to deal with. As a person who runs in alliance in global, it's so frustrating sometimes. And I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
With some of the cursor fixes you see on global, what would be the percentage of players who actually clear expert?
If I had to realistically give you a number, I would say around 70%.
Would clear it?
Sorry, would not clear it.
Oh,
Oh shit.
You were close to what I was thinking. That was because, like I said before, I said that
Like maybe 60,
I
maybe
have
60.
Final Fantasy 14 or had.
thanks Brandon for subscribing.
But this is my opinion. There's no math to back this up. It's just
So
what
I
I've
became a
noticed.
raid leader in Final Fantasy, and I think we only lasted about 2 months because people would leave, and the reasoning a lot of them said was, "Oh, I didn't know Savage was going to be this hard. I didn't know I'd have to start looking up guides and stuff like this."
What do you expect? It's not supposed to be fucking easy. Things are like that in PSO2 as well. If you want to be HTPD, you better be fucking prepared. You better to prepare to fucking wipe. And you gotta learn from that. You think things are gonna be that easy, like the content they throw it at us? No, this is not. It's like a wake-up call to you, and you better be prepared. That's the
Well-
mentality they want to prepare you, maybe for NGS as well, because it's not gonna be fucking easy,
They did reminded me of someone. I forgot who it was. I think it was John that brought it up many times in the Rand channel. Whereas there was a particular person in Global who kept searching for teams to carry his ass on HTPD.
Oh boy, I've gotten a couple of those.
I came at the wrong time, didn't I? Right?
I have certain responsibilities, and one of those was to look up a lot of information on FF logs and try to help people. But a lot of people didn't like this because that means I'm telling them like what they're doing wrong.
Well, they signed themselves up for it, so they better be listening, They signed themselves up. They want to improve. They want to do Savage content. They better do that,
The
You
thing
know what I'm
about
talking about, right?
looking at the
Yeah, I know,
chat, I'm staring at like the team chat sort of talk. It's like you can easily avoid drama, but the question is, who's doing what? Like in Austin's case, I know
I've
that
cleared HTPD. I can clear HTPD, so I at least can play the game. Like I at least am happy with my own progression, and that's it. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy, and I want to get better and better. I don't know why people don't have that mentality, but I don't know. Different people, different different ideologies.
Okay, let me choose a certain topic. Talk about that. It's just that when it comes to like some people doing that, you might need to consider a few things. Like, did they actually stick? Did they play like a bunch of games thoroughly, or did they decide to play a very easy game and then they decide to go into something that's not in their usual field? And I feel like it might be in that case when some people want to get carries, or at least, they expect the game to be easy, but it's not easy.
I'm the same,
because
like,
of that.
so I always want to try and improve. So even if I was at the limit, I think I'd still try and push that limit further. So
yeah, it's oh, you go.
My biggest turn off the global was spending over 20 minutes to clear that one EQ when you fight Shiva at the end.
Oh no.
Oh,
Morning.
I know what you're talking about. Morning of Desires.
How long did it take for JP? I feel like it
Way less significantly. I could say 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
sometimes less if you got a good enough group.
you gotta be careful because Global
Expert.
actually released their stuff differently. Because for JP, we got the Face of the Abyss, and then we got Morning. Global was the reverse, where they got Morning first, and then they got Face of the Abyss. And the big thing too was that they didn't have still Puros.
Yeah, we didn't have Device 35,
Right.
which appeared before the scene, so we lacked certain S-class abilities that gave DPS, and we couldn't get the JP times when it happened.
Yeah, so it's like there's a bit of leeway with that, but if there's a lot of people dying a lot throughout your runs, that might be a different story. But
Right.
like in terms of the time, yeah, it may not be the best runs. Like, I think good clear times will be like 10 minutes if possible, depending on what people were doing in the
Wait,
NBA.
we're talking about like Demise?
Yeah, Morning of Demise upon its release over in
I
Global.
mean,
Because
when it come
I
out,
remember
like, 2 weeks
in
in,
JP,
I got like 10 minute run.
because I did,
on Global.
I had a recording of my JP run for Morning when it was first released. In JP, we were able to get in like 3 runs, and then once people understood the pattern and just knew their stuff,
And
it
you
was
get, like,
always
four
3
runs.
runs you can get in.
4 runs.
It's
Oh.
possible to get a
Oh,
fourth,
yeah,
but you
4th.
have to be
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, Diddy and I always got 4 runs into the most times.
But yeah, for Global it was like different because of those factors, and I kind of scratched my head at some of those things. And also thinking about it, you guys didn't even get some of the other free stuff you could have got, which was like light stream units along with the stone.
The thing
I
that
was-
broke. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing that broke my heart the most that Global never got. That I'm glad JP has it because I am on JP. I can experience it and it's fun. Odin, why the hell? I get it, licensing. I get it.
Oh,
Licensing.
we
is-
stop again.
So
God damn it! I wanted to fight him, man. I wanted to fight him.
that will be up to Square Enix, honestly. To be brutally honest, but unless they have something for Endwalker or moving forward, maybe they'll do it, or they'll just have just use resources for new gen.
I'm
Fighting-
crossing my fingers. I'm crossing my fingers.
Fighting against Odin
just think
again
it's,
was so fun. Oh my god.
Man, bro, Morph, remember when we had back in the days when Odin was out, we actually had to go and like set up actual MMORPG rating
Yeah,
tactics
I remember
to
because
deal
like I have an old recording of that. We were
Yeah,
getting
same.
raped.
oh my lord. Oh, Odin was something else. Oh
Like,
my god.
I
Odin
think,
was something else back in the days.
I think
I remember
I
Full
just-
Tank just like being so tanky against him, but it
Did
was
they
like
add
yeah.
the feature though?
Yeah.
Because in Final Fantasy, when you kill Odin, the person who killed Odin becomes Odin.
Yes.
Mhm.
Does that happen in
So-
PSO2?
Yes.
There's
But-
moments where it's like they changed their head, and that's kind of a
Yeah,
rare variant.
the head, is based upon the user's variant, and 9 times out of 10 is female.
Mhm.
I just think it's hilarious how the same 4 people would die to Shiva counter every fucking run.
Oh gosh.
Global?
You know
Yeah.
that one of my favorite things about Odin when I played it on JP before I moved to Global was that I'm also very intense Final Fantasy 14 player, but I also like to solo stuff in JP. And my favorite thing about Odin is that he has transitions with certain time frames, and I was really hard into raiding in FF14. And those seconds that he did the order of attacks matched perfectly with the ones with the actual raid in FF14.
Really?
And it made my
Dang.
solo experience much easier.
Damn. But damn, like me doing that test run too, like Oda just tore through everything with that move.
Boy, bro,
Instant
remember,
kill.
bro? It was to the point like we had to like before we even did the thing, we had to do freaking the triad of our MMORPGs. We needed a healer, we needed a tank, and we needed to do, and everyone else was just DPS.
A lot of the content back then, it's like it allowed some of the support roles to shine. Like it wasn't as heavy.
Bouncer.
Yeah,
oh my lord.
like the hunter
Those were the-
especially is like the tank builds shit. Like that was a
because
godsend.
Odin hits like a truck. Odin hit
Not
like a
only
truck
that,
back
it's
then.
like in other content modes too, like in Ultimate Quest, like especially when people didn't have a lot of 13 stars, that was good. And you would see a lot of like those core things that happened back then. It wasn't as stressful, and it's like something that people kind of picked up on because it was like we need to adapt and we need to get better at these runs and we need to make it quicker. But later on, it's like that started to die out, and like most people don't really run a tank build because it's like everyone's doing their own thing. And why do you need like heals? Why do you need a tank if you can kill this thing fast? And it kind of goes into like some of the mentality of other games, like for example Genshin. Like why would you need a healer if you can destroy this thing quick? Like if you do so much DPS, it's like
Dark Soul.
But you know, I'm a little upset because I took a break when that EQ came out, and I come back into the game like a portal to another world. The fuck is this shit?
Man.
Well, it wasn't EQ, it was an LQ.
This
Oh,
was way
okay.
back when you're talking about the roles. This was way back in beta PSO2.
Blue
episode
Burst,
1,
hello.
Episode 2 when we had roles. When there were roles, because it felt like a Trinity in a way, because you had your own thing. It felt like
right.
PSO1, but in a PSO2 world. But then, because I would never stop saying it, and this is the one thing I would say. Luther is I still regard him the best made raid boss ever in the history of PSO2.
Beg to differ, but that's
what would you say, Denver? Well, actually, let Abby explain.
I would say the best, excluding Magatsu, because Magatsu is my favorite, but is literally have to be the final boss of Phase 2. That has got to be the most heavily mechanic fight in the entire game that we ever had to put up with. Excluding besides loser, but like TPD was like you gotta deal with platforms, you gotta make sure you don't get hit, you gotta make sure you hit the eye, you gotta make sure you hit the arms, you gotta, and Sodom was even worse because there's a lot of mechanics which
for TPD it didn't feel that way because they knows this. I quit PSO2 twice for 2 years consecutively. And as a returning player, when I came back to episode 6 and with like being behind. They helped me scrap up everything, all this like cheap ass stuff. And when I first faced TPD, the 12-man, it didn't give me any sense of danger as the first time seeing him. Like even when I got to Soulbound, it gave me some trouble, here and there. But phase 1 was a joke as a first time player who saw it. And then when we got to the third time, it just felt like a joke in the end compared to what I felt back in episode 2, where all of us coordinated with each other with Luther, or even a sub does people with Doritos, because holy shit,
Dorito was something else. Once he slaps that weak bullet on you, goodbye to HP.
Actually, his tank damage was brutal.
I remember when Persona first came out and nobody knew what the fuck to do.
Oh god.
Surprised.
But, yeah.
I'm actually surprised. I didn't
just
have
hearing
experience with Persona.
like how you guys were able to point out like the favorite raids and all that. It's just kind of boils down once again to the actual moment, because Abby cherishes that moment where it was a team effort and it had a different feel compared to that of like episode 6.
Because after episode 3, it was nothing but raid bosses that were filled with you just poke it till it dies. There's no more,
I totally agree.
You don't play a role. That's why when I first faced, when Dede brought me to TPD for the first time, it felt nothing. It just felt like another raid boss where you just poke it till it dies.
Actually, one of my most fun solo raid experiences, because as usual I used to be a speedrunner when I got best in slot. just for fun, was running reverse bow braver. I mean, range braver on loser. Back when loser just came out. It was one, like, getting a certain minute was really, really tough. And you really needed to know all the mechanics of episode 2. Like, you need to learn how to use status gun, farm the status weapon that has the status potential. You have to use Regauteri sometimes. Like, I remember there was a utility weapon that sent you to midair for easier headshots. When you use bow combined with Spanish arrows to break his arms as you open clocks. It was nutty, but it was one of the best to solo during the episode 2 meta.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget that. All the strategy use, all the farming, the use of crafting, like, it was all over the place. Loser is possibly my first boss. He also has the best scene.
So I want to talk about my thought about NG's urgent quest for EQ, because you kind of had to work together on that thing, because you have the status element. So I'm thinking they are going to bring back something like Luther. You have to work together, not just the boss. You have to focus on maybe they summon like Ad or something. In the future EQs, I want to see they bring something, that kind of element back, where you have to work together as a team. Some people focus on this or that, and you know, some people focus on the boss status and those kind of jazz.
Yeah, that's the one thing
you
I
have
saw,
to work as a team. It's
I saw
really
Day
good.
burning a lot of the bosses. It helped a lot. Like, I love that.
Burn the
I
ring,
want to see. Yeah, when I saw you guys streaming that, like, dude, that's a good trinity. Sega needs to invest themselves in that. No more poking till it
in the
dies.
past.
Alright,
That's
just
the thing.
before anyone say anything, I'm gonna go AFK. I'll let you guys continue the conversation.
Damn
I'ma
it,
go
Dad, you
eat dinner.
cross-dressing bastard.
Here's the thing was that they've done this in the past in Universe PSO1 Portable. They've done this in the past. They know what they're doing. But the problem with PSO2 is that it just came to the point where you're just busting your head against a wall to get big damage.
That was
I'm hopeful about New Genesis, however. I
They
feel
make
like
the
the
game
down
kind of
mechanic
more
is amazing.
complicated, I suppose.
Wait, wait, today?
Like, they make it so straightforward. You just punch it to it. That's really no fun, you know.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so like New Genesis is like they're bringing back some of the old stuff from like old PSO2, you know, OG PSO2, like before episode 4, and then bringing stuff back from like Universe, Portable, and PSO1. So it seems like they're doing that for the urgent.
PSO2, let's be honest, it's power creep, isn't it?
It's literally due to the
Yeah.
power creep that's it just kind of went to this point.
It's what scares me of New Genesis if they actually pull it off.
Well, it
Yeah, but
seems
as
it seems to me that they're scaling back the damage
Yeah,
significantly.
Thankfully, because when they announced in Genesis for the very first time, they did openly publicly said in their first stream that they wanted to go back to the days of PSO1 and PSU, which they did. They fell back on that. From what I've seen, that they're falling back to their promise. Like, everything seems so far. The
By
formula
the way,
is
you're
like,
all gonna hate me. I love all the bosses, but my favorite has to be Mother, because I mean, come on, I
Nah,
cost
I
Oh
hated
no!
Mother.
Nah, no.
She was
What
boring.
to solo?
Pride, Floyd.
Bro, they didn't
Oh.
drop my Kazami when it came out. The hell you mean?
But you know, Dave, what are you cleaning over there?
Wait, what? I don't know.
Seriously. Soloing Mother is the worst, but I would count it technically second for Inertion because I don't count Yamato.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't
like,
know.
majority of the bosses, but before we move
He was
on,
fucking boring, but just fun.
but yeah, before we move on,
I do
to,
hate
to
that
the,
Radroid part. No,
like-
I think the version where you just fight Mother and then Deuce was better.
but like before we talk about bosses stuff,
Radroid.
I like the fact that Sega went to their word where everything is now on terms of PSU and PSO1.
I'm happy.
The formula is there. You could tell when you tested out CBT, like all the numbers and formula and damage numbers and everything. It is exactly like PSU and PSO1.
PSU1, yep. I'm personally
Good.
very happy they're going for that because
Yeah, I
I know
love
big numbers does not and I repeat, does not belong in a Phantasy Star game.
No, let's just be honest, Day. As a fighter, we're still just gonna punch things till it die.
I mean, that's
No. Don't get me started. I hate fighter and
well, I mean, the fighter was kind of basically Hunter in PSO1 to a degree. Like, you can build your character to where in PSO1 there you could just be dual wield. I mean, dealing with daggers and whatnot. But yeah,
I just
You
love
know what I
that.
like?
Go on.
That in PSU, New Genesis stat scaling is basically PSU without ATA. I think like ATA was the only bad thing of
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And I'm like I said, I'm happy that they're going back because it's like it's needed at this point.
Exactly, and I'm thankful that they are finally addressing that dexterity is a thing again, which is supposed to be like every other PSOs. But holy shit, dude!
Dexterity does little to nothing in PSO.
It does absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Actually, they're going back to the PSU for
Braver
that.
P8.
It just raises. Makes it so that the minimum. It lowers the minimum damage that you take, and it raises the minimum damage that you can deal. It is dumb.
It is so minimal though. Like it is not noticeable. It was noticeable back in episodes 1, 2, and 3.
So it's
that's
actually
it.
really big if you are using crafted weapon. You actually need dexterity.
Yeah,
But you
Yeah, that's
do
really
not
what it
have anything
and then they
more.
abandoned it.
The only time Dexterity became OP in PSO2 was when God Unit came out, and this actually was a big technical talk I had about why Mark Anger is the best Mark because of Dexterity, because nobody believed me in that. For example, if you had 1400 Dexterity, you were literally taking no damage because minimal damage was so low, and you were always hitting hard. Like you would just you forget not taking damage, just face roll the enemy.
I would just told right off the bat, don't put anything in Dex on your Mac because that's literally what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Didn't they add the Braver mag later on, and it became relevant? The skill
No,
on the
not
skill
even then. Not even then. It's like the moment Dex became relevant was when Phantom came out because your damage scales off of your Dex. That's it.
Yeah, but so does Braver. But you can go one or the other.
Bouncer.
You can go range or S
Actually,
attack.
I did full
Bouncer.
science on Braver.
Okay.
The big issue of Braver was that Bow has some PAs that scale with S attack and some others that scale with R attack.
Oh, that
And
was
it
back
was
then.
so
Yeah,
confusing.
That was back then. That was
Yeah,
back
I-
Hello?
Yeah.
It's that too.
This was back in the days when a lot of PAs scaled on different things, but this was later on. I think they addressed it on episode 4, where they finally reformulated everything, where everything's based on what it should have been.
Yes. Episode 3 was craziest for Braver. Like, to think that you would do more bow damage as a Katana Braver full S attack.
So that's the reason why back then the meta was being a bow braver gunner, because of Kamikaze Arrow literally focusing on this attack. A lot of people did that. Remember that the meta day? When everyone
I saw
did
a
the
lot of
thing?
videos where people were just
Braver
obliterating.
Yeah,
Obliterating
Remember people
Magatsu.
obliterating Magatsu and freak. No, it was for Magatsu. It was to the point where they literally had to like put a R attack resistance on the tip of his head.
There's something worse, Ryu. Dominator Gunner.
Huh?
Yeah,
There
Summoner
is
Gunner was the worst
Summoner
before they...
Gunner.
Summoner Gunner Cup.
Allah Akbar build. That's literally
Bro,
what
I played that shit. It was so much fun.
it literally was just a terrorist build at that point. Oh my
literally
god.
did over 1 billion damage before they nerfed it. and
No,
they
it's
capped it to
10 mil.
999.
Yeah, 10 mil.
10 mil.
Like,
Yeah, it
just
was
10
based
mil.
on Wake Bullet got nerfed for starters.
Fucking 10 mil on Magatsu. God
I
damn.
I have to go, but I want to leave one last comment when we were talking about bosses. And I am very optimistical with how New Genesis introduced the down mechanic. That actually you have 3 ways to down an enemy. And this is actually very focused on tech, range, and striking. It works like this. You have 3 ways to strike down a boss.
Most of the cheese builds I hear of involve the name Summoner.
Yeah, so you had melees can hit the legs or anything that shines yellow, causes it down. When the boss gets pissed, you do elemental, you cause it down. And some bosses like Beras or Didil Swirl can hit a certain part that can only be reachable for range classes to keep an uptime on that, and if it breaks, it causes a down. The down lasts around 10 seconds, all burst classes can go all in, destroy it, and on top of that, the down has a bonus damage received during that. So it really favors the team play and coordinating these downs between the skill rolls of range, melee, and tech users. And it also flexibilizes for people playing subclasses to capitalize on these downs, because when they leaked the fighter skill tree, one of the sub dumps was down damage. And I think that can be pretty big for UQs, EQs in Japan, either for party play or solo play. And I feel like just how they designed the first boss, that is all center of different phases can get different downs, and every time he gets down, he takes huge chunks of damage, like if it's a monster counter
It
fight.
take almost 2 times more damage if I remember. On CBT2 on CBT on global. On the urgent quest, the one you had to shock. I was doing Gunner Force and I was doing Zone Day and then make it go down and then start changing the weak spot. Oh my god, the damage just goes up so high.
Yes.
Is really, really good. Gunner Force is like was my dream class. I wanted to do it in base PSO2, and I couldn't. You can't really do it because damage split exists, you know.
Yeah.
And then in New Genesis, that's no longer the case. So I was like, I'm happy I could be able to become a gun mage in New Genesis.
Yeah. I am very excited about using Ranger. Not as a funnel to do damage, but how I imagine Ranger, which is this class that can do all kinds of staggers, has a ton of utility. You can place weak bullet on the leg, so the melees hit it as if it were a weak spot, so they don't lose TPS while trying to down him from the leg, while you are the only guy who has uptime on his back. I felt that all that synergy was amazing. It felt like Loser all over again, but more basic. It's the first boss. So this makes me really hopeful on boss design on New Genesis. I just want to see what they make.
I expect them to take a note out of FF14 bosses. I can see them doing a lot of crazy heavy mechanic heavy stuff like they did back in the old days. I could see them doing that again because it is much needed.
To make something that you cannot from. You actually have to do the mechanic. Like Terra. Fuck that shit.
Bro.
Yeah, but I'm really scared that Power Clip will ruin this. Like, what's the matter of doing all this if you can just face roll it to this? Anyways, that's what I wanted to leave. I'm actually gonna leave the Discord because I'm gonna get busy, but I just wanted to leave that as food for thought for the viewers. So, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Man. Later.
Bye.
Yeah, because all the mechanic in PSO2, beside the TPD, Phase 1, and Odin, you can practically iframe everything, you know? If you're
more or
good
less,
enough.
yeah. If you're good enough, you can iframe a lot. Like Sodom, despite how mechanically intensive it can get, you can be able to dodge most of his attacks if you're good enough.
If you time right, yeah. But like, what happened if they actually force you to do mechanic? You have to do it. You cannot iframe. You cannot iframe something. That'll be fun too, huh?
That would bring in an extra difficulty, because something that PSO really needs at this point. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like, they should take a book out of FF14 how they handle their raids. If they can handle, if they could take a page out of FF14 on how they handle their raids, or let alone different difficulties, meaning different mechanics you have to learn, then that's perfectly fine. New Genesis has the potential to do something like that, and damn, man. And that was just the first EQ boss. Granted, EQs are no longer going to be scheduled, so whenever it comes, it comes.
Yep.
So it is what it is. Honestly, I'm just happy. I cannot wait.
Maintenance
Also,
in 5
more minutes, and I'm back.
5 more minutes. Yep, welcome back.
I could see New Genesis bringing in old, like, given the fact that they're already pumping out like all the old classes right off the gate, I could see them pumping in new classes and bringing back old weapons that didn't make the cut in base PSO2.
I want to see slicers return.
I want shotguns. I want handguns.
True.
What about the shield thingy they have?
I'm just gonna hope that there's a lot more new innovations, innovative stuff. That's the big thing. Once we get past like we get to bring back all these familiar things. I want new things, like really new things.
Oh, new things, yeah. I think again, the fact that they're pumping it up, I was expecting episodic, episode 2 Braver, episode 3 Bouncer. No, they're pumping up all the old classes right off the gate, and then they'll just bring in new classes whenever we're gonna have a new episode or a new planet to go to, or a new universe. Who knows?
What should we do for the last 4 minutes now? I'm not going to be 20. I'm just gonna go back to the ground.
Don't.
I don't like the big thing is it's like those people, like some of them I do know, but most of them I don't know as much, and it's like it's gonna be a lot of spammage. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay over here and just pose and just wait till they kick me out.
Yo, what is it? Put your gear into a storage and whatnot.
Don't forget. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like how you can pull stuff out of storage whenever you want an NGS.
Guys, if you haven't done it already, please put your gear and whatever you have in your inventory, just put them into your storage. Any storage would do. Just be sure to put it in there. You'll be able to get them back at when you get into New Genesis.
I need to figure out which character I would have to go to. Hey, Demirez. Yep. Now we're counting down to. It says 3 minutes left. Just make sure that everyone's mentally prepared for not playing PSO2 for a couple days, and then NGS is gonna
be. It was like a day and a half.
A day and a half. Oh,
it's almost 2 days. Oh boy.
Put it into storage.
I don't need to put costumes in there, do I? Then.
Put them just in case.
Go naked, yay! Actually, no, you can't even go naked.
I don't have any outerwear. It's space wear in there, so I don't need to do that, huh?
It's all good.
Just in case.
You cannot space wear in there where you can't do it. It's in the salon.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You're already using NGS body and stuff, so you should be fine.
I'll most likely still linger around in the voice chat after maintenance kicks in. I'm just gonna have.
I gotta move some things out of my ES storage. That's where all my stuff is at.
Man, I still got a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out when I'm gonna do a giveaway to those who are new on the Japanese side and they haven't seen me in game. I wonder what. I need to also organize what items to give away. Oh, so you're a candidate that can participate along with John.
Sweet.
CY.
I want my Guardians so on.
No, you already know. You're not getting any free stuff. You already got your stuff.
Guardian Soul is gonna be like, in New Genesis. So it's like, don't do that.
I got like voices and a lot of stuff that's just old now. I think there's
the PS2 voices. No, the NGS voices has much more dialogue than the PS2 voices.
I feel like there's still gonna be a bit of value with it, especially since it's gonna take them a value. It takes them a while to get to these certain voice actors. Granted that they could, get them to say a couple lines here and there. That is the 1 minute mark.
1 minute mark, guys.
Man. Alright.
I'm just gonna log off then.
Last few moments. I mean, obviously, we can always go back to PSO2 event. Shit. I don't think I'll be visiting original PSO2 for a couple days. Because of NGS. I'm gonna go hardcore with when NGS is out, just a heads up to you guys. I'm just gonna be like chugging monsters and going nuts with the farming.
Hey, don't drink too many of those. Those fucking are bad.
You're gonna be one of those guys.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna.
And you're gonna burn out, and you're gonna play PSO2 base game again.
I'll be surprised if I do. But I mean, it is what it is. I have a tolerance in it. Like I said, like this is one of the games that I'll go crazy for.
You're gonna go into the lava because you're so sleepy. Yes.
We could see that happen, yeah. Watch me go into like a river and just like get drowned. Wait, can you actually drown?
Oh, no.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. That is it. Now we gotta wait for NGS updates. Just keep tabs of the game and see if you can actually download some stuff prior to. But
good thing is Wednesday's my day off, so
Yeah, Wednesday I shouldn't be as busy, so I'm gonna be streaming that.
I'm
hopefully
taking,
upon
I
its
took
release.
Wednesday off.
Nice.
I took Wednesday. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah, so I'll most likely schedule actual, what is it, live stream. Hopefully there's not a lot of complications upon its release, but I'm gonna be playing that like most likely throughout most of Wednesday, and then maybe the following days after that. And if you guys want to come into the live stream chat, play with me on the Japanese side, talk with me while you play, and yes, it's all fine and dandy. Yep. That is
Just remember,
pretty much it.
just to treat it, it's a new start for everybody, and make sure to have a lot of fun, and enjoy it.
It's a brand new world, a brand new stuff, brand new mechanics. We're gonna have a good adventure. For those vets that are around, it's gonna be a new start for us. But all I have to say is it has been one hell of a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, definitely. I was I was out running errands, and I watched like Azalera's graduation speech. If you haven't, you should check it out.
I was there for the speech.
I wasn't. I didn't do Azalea because I was just busy doing my stuff. I didn't get a chance to see him. But I taken the picture before with him, so it was like it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah,
I went out of my way to just hang around and see what they were up to.
I unfortunately was in the middle of NGS prep because I'm a procrastinator.
Same.
I mean, I was kind of like yesterday's stream when I was trying to prep for NGS. It's like, oh, let me prep for it. Realize I haven't farmed for I don't know how many days, and it's like I can't do anything. I didn't actually do anything for PSO2, so it's like fuck.
I just threw money at the problem. It didn't bother me.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
I was just doing final touches for my my transition from PSO2 models to New Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me 2 months. 2 whole months. Because it's not like I'm building the character from the ground up. I'm literally just it's an overhaul I'm doing on both of my characters.
Yeah, understandable. You want to make sure your character looks exactly the way you want it. Gotcha.
The fact that like when I saw RAC go on Aaron, the character Aaron, and saw their NGS face, that was a very good like tampering around with the face and stuff, and it looked nice compared to what I was trying to do with my characters.
It's like those 2 days I spent the fixing, I spent so much Meseta, I never want to see Meseta disappear that quickly, ever again.
Yeah, I burned up a lot. Like, the highest amount of Meseta I got was like 4 billion, but I gave 3 billion to Blue so they can get my PR Pills 5. 1 billion, roughly around 1 billion for the Persona pose, so I don't think I'll be able to break that physical score of 4 billion ever again. But yeah, like I didn't really prep as heavily. I got most of the things I want. If I need to do something, I'll revisit it. But
yeah, luckily, the only thing that's really you missing out on is the affix week. But even after everything's said and done, PSO2 is still there for a while. So you still have the opportunity to switch weapons. I know there's some people who are like, oh, I forgot to switch my soaring blades to so and so. So like, don't get worried too much. Anyone in chat, if you were one of those people. You could probably do it once it's afterwards. Just go in PSO2, swap it over, get you're just not gonna have the boost week, but yeah.
Does global go down the same time as well, or
yes.
are you gonna go
down?
Yeah. Both servers are down. Both servers are down. So, God, I love every single one of y'all.
Yeah.
PSO2 community is very, very diverse and has a lot of great people. There can be disagreements, but I think the reality is that there's a lot of good people here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people and a lot of weird people.
Hey man,
there's a bunch of degenerates over here. I can tell you that for sure.
Hey, degenerates! How dare you? I would have you know that I am. Actually, no. I'll shut up. No.
Dad, anyone in this server is literally a degenerate. If you say no, then you're a much bigger degenerate than if you already were.
Well, I'm not a degenerate. I can say that with honesty.
From the Chris videos I've seen, I don't know, Ted.
From the what videos? What are you talking about?
Man. I'm looking forward to playing with you all in New Genesis, though. It's gonna be fun.
Just remember, okay, before I wanted to go back because you were gone for a while, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Optimism.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like to have some fun sometimes.
I don't think being optimism or being on a neutral level would be good for NGS. It's better to get yourself low, so you could want to start to climbing up back into that optimism.
Fair enough. Fair
like
enough.
I said,
That's what I've been doing since the beginning.
Yeah,
I had
Morph,
it.
Are you going to be leading a team in New Genesis, though?
Like I had.
I do need to release a
stay
video
with the
talking
same
about
team.
that.
Like I had my expectation for NGS as the lowest possible. It was non-existent, and then and then slowly but surely I saw some good merits of it, and you slowly climb up to that towards that optimism.
Yeah,
It's go on.
I was just gonna say like other games that we've seen in the past, right? You have a big game release coming out, everyone's excited. Don't get too excited. Just
Yeah.
that's
Just
it.
pretty much have kind of like a neutral look on it, and then be wowed by all the things.
No. Come on, Dad.
I'm still going into
You're ignoring
NGS.
all the bad things.
I'm still going into NGS with the intention of being disappointed.
See, that's a good thing because he'll bump into the good non-disappointing things. It's better
Because-
to go low instead of neutral.
I already see how Sway's a problem still
I mean,
in
coming from
NGS.
someone who's played MMOs since bloody RuneScape, I think I don't really have any expectation. I think NGS is just going to be a process for me, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be fun.
Exactly.
See, there you go.
I agree
Here's another
completely.
person. See, that's another good example. See, Dad,
Wait,
being
what?
neutral, you're just beating yourself.
Well, by neutral, I'm like
No
just saying
neutralness.
don't. Well,
It's better to go low and then slowly take those little easy steps back up, where there's like tiny little slivers of hope.
the question is, how do you find neutral when it comes to like?
It's like licking
Neutral
your
is what
toilet.
you've been doing, saying you don't want to do that, you don't want to face this, you want to look away from that.
Well,
you're
by
walking
neutral,
away
I'm
from
referring to
that.
just go in there blind.
Well, I think it's just about having realistic expectations. Like for people in here, right? Some people have done CBTs, some people have seen gameplay. If you're excited, be excited. Just think about how the game is going to, how you're going to play the game, right?
And at the end of the day, even though we're going there blind, it is still Sega. It's still same formula. It's still same everything. It is Sega. It is PSO2.
And I'm
I
still
think it's
looking forward
hard,
to getting
like-
stuck on terrain.
Especially with like how some people, like most of us played a good chunk of PSO2, and some of us are vets in a sense, and it's gonna be hard to define said neutral, because like for me, and you guys already know like the history and stuff, it's like, yeah, I can't fool myself, I can't lie about it, because I already experienced the things, and honestly, in my boat, I can't say it's a neutral, because I already know and seen what Sega does, so yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
kind
It's
of
better
lying
to say
about it.
yourself.
But
It's
if it
better
was
to-
someone else who's brand new to like playing any sort of fantasy
if they're
star,
brand new,
then yeah,
it's
they have a
fine with
neutral
that.
outlook to it, unless they
Yeah.
joined the hype train. But like,
But if you're
you-
someone like yourself now, Morph,
Yeah.
it's better to sit yourself low and then slowly smile about the little things.
all
that
right,
they
I'll concede. I'll wave my flag. You're right. You're right.
Just come on, dude. We all here, who especially from JP side, we fucking hate and love the living shit out of PSO2.
Mhm.
They had base PS2 had potential, just Sega just didn't do it.
Mhm.
It was
Like,
always-
Another
Like-
problem, as I think you mentioned, which is similar to what most people will come across. The more MMOs you play, the more tropes you see between them. So, you just start to see like the same things happen in every MMO. So,
right.
Yeah,
That's-
the
that's
thing is that they
big
actually
thing.
treat and do Genesis as an actual MMO RPG, because in the past they just never did that. They just
Yeah,
kind
they
of
never
like
did.
I
they just
feel-
kind of been toying around with it, but they just
That's
never.
the one thing I'm actually happy about is they're actually going to the regular formula of MMO, which I'm fine with that because we all grew up with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's then it kind of boils down to the question if it's unique because of that. Because if it follows that sort of
it's
formula,
unique. It's unique in its own way, where it's PSO2 with the MMO. It's a hybrid. Basically.
Yeah, I think they just restructured the outward elements of PSO2.
New Genesis
Exactly.
New Genesis for people who've come from PSO2 is going to be completely different because how open world it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, they basically put PSO2's combat in an MMO world.
Exactly, just like Black Desert, Terra.
Right.
It's just like that.
I don't like.
It's actually more interactive because you don't have to slow down and think about all the skills that you have in your slots.
Fair enough.
But I still wish they would have did what Warframe did and tested out an open world area in base PSO2 before they did NGS.
Yeah, they should have done that. They really should.
Would have been it would have been a good opportunity to do like a preview event, right? It would have been like, hey, you want to preview the map?
Meme on this one, but it's been going around. People have putting Xenoblade X OST on top of New Genesis.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing those float around. They're hilarious. But yeah, the similarities are kind of uncanny for some people, especially if they played those games. Oh god.
But yeah.
Alright, let me conclude the stream here, and I'll still hang around the stream or the voice chat and just chat with you guys. But that is it for this stream. It is now in maintenance. We gotta wait for it to get out, and then we can play NGS. And when that happens, I will be streaming it. Hopefully my internet connection and everything is fine upon its release. But thank you guys
Don't forget to watch Morph's new video of him cross-dressing as a mom.
Fucking God.
I'm gonna lie, I'm gonna try and like sync up the music to NGS.
But anyways, that is it for this stream. Thank you guys, especially those who decided to come into the voice chat, giving your opinions and thoughts here and there about all these different concepts and topics. But that is it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.